So, we must ask ourselves, what is the dictionary definition of terrorism? The systematic use of terror, especially as a means of coercion. But what is terror?
Yeah.
According to the dictionary I hold in my hand, terror is violent or destructive acts, such as bombing, committed by groups in order to intimidate a population or government into granting their demands.
Yeah. What up, everybody? We back.
Open your mind.
That's right.
Who sings that?
Low Key. Check him out on YouTube. He's
Low
dope
Key.
as fuck. Low Key. Talks about real issues, talks about real problems, and talks about real solutions. We got Eddie in this spot, and we got the... What's up, man? How you doing? Don't interrupt my introduction.
Okay.
And we got Hector in this spot. Wow, what a great show we're having. And Mike, my co-host.
Yeah, we're doing
Keeping
people.
it real 24/7. Going live right now, too. All right, keep it down, folks. Shut up. Shut up. All right, so, Ed, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Can I call you Ed or Eduardo?
Whatever you want, man. Just don't call me late
Edwards?
at night.
What?
Just don't call me late at night.
It might be a good time.
So we last left off with you saying the Constitution is outdated. Why would you say such a stupid thing? I mean, silly thing. Silly.
Silly. That's silly. Remember?
You know, I mean, as far as Second Amendment goes,
Are you
you know,
stupid or something?
a little bit. You know, I believe we all. Well, maybe it's, you know, it is outdated. You know, I believe we should bear arms, you know, and stuff like that. It should be, you know, for every single American to bear arms, you know what I mean? But people have their own perception of the Constitution, and they want to change things.
Sorry to cut you off. We got an important call from Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-il, how are you doing, bro? You have something to say?
What are you, stupid as something?
Well, that's not Kim Jong-il. That's some chick. Whoops, sorry.
Stupid turd!
All right, my bad.
Stupid as something?
All right, so back what I was saying, though. Oh, wait. We do have Kim Jong-il. What's up?
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent like me?
The phone lines are blowing up, folks. But yeah, man, the Constitution is definitely not outdated. We got to keep our old values in order for us to obtain the freedoms that we have. Mike, what do you think about that?
Well, as far as being outdated, I mean, things do need to get retouched once in a while. I mean, even any masterpiece, as far as it, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but it is something in the right direction. But I do agree with you on certain aspects of it being outdated. I mean, this shit was, what, over 200 years ago? They didn't have the internet. They didn't have drones. They didn't have 3D printing. They didn't have RFID chips. They didn't have strains that you could use to biological warfare. Well, I guess they had smallpox on blankets and shit like that. Here you go, Indians. Thanksgiving. Nice. No, but yeah, I do think that it could be improved. I definitely do. I mean, we have gone and changed it before, you know. I mean, there have been things that have to be changed, but
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, but I do agree, you know, things do change. I mean, they do change, but I do think that our privacy should be number one.
Well, we're the very few two countries in the world that have the right to bear arms, and once you take that away, you're looking at total dictatorships.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
That's what I agree.
Yeah, I agree. But then again, you on the flip side, you know, down in Mexico, ammunition and guns are illegal. Yet our government, Eric Holder, Fast and Furious, was selling military-grade weapons to cartels in Sinaloa and all these other cartels and stuff. It's just crazy, you know. Like, when there's money involved, you could get anything. I mean, they were getting, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they could block cell phone usage, you know, in a certain radius. Those are only, like, for government use. Like, and the cartels are having this. One thing I want to touch on is a Marine that we were talking about on the break that went into Mexico with guns and ammunition. And I think you were saying that he went in 2 or 3 times. Is that right?
3 times a day. 3 times in the same day.
In the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, are you aware of this, Marine?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? This guy, was he just innocently going into Mexico trying to shoot some ducks or something?
Well, I'm not sure what he was doing. However, he did get caught, but thank God he did get released eventually. You know, it took us a little while.
Why do you think it took so long?
I don't know. I think the president should have been a little bit more proactive, got him out of there a lot sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an American.
Exactly.
You know? And he's a Marine.
Exactly.
I mean, that should be the priority.
Exactly. But you know, It's just ass backwards.
But this guy jumped on the opportunity, you know, to deal 5 or 4 guys from Guantanamo Bay for a Bergdahl or
What was that about? Can you break that down a little bit?
I just got my perspective on it. It's
I
just,
want to hear it.
it's just we never since day one. I've been told we do not negotiate with terrorists, and for them to give 1 for 5 is just ridiculous and unheard of. And maybe some impeachment should be brought up, but it wasn't.
What about if they're doing some crazy MK Ultra shit to where they got these guys brainwashed now, and now they're going to be helping the Obama administration? Is that a possibility?
I doubt it. It's
too hard to break these guys, right?
Yeah. There's no way, no chance, no how we should have traded anybody for anybody. You know what I mean? We got reporters getting their heads cut off and stuff like that. Where's the trade in from there?
Nowhere.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a very good, valid point.
You bring up that video of that dude getting his head chopped off. I'm seeing this shit everywhere. I don't even watch TV, but whenever I walk by the TV at a break area or at home, I'm like, what the? I'm hearing about dudes that are getting their heads chopped off. Do you guys think those videos are real? Because now I'm hearing that they're fake and they're just put up there to scare us again, like the Osama bin Laden. Never real evidence, never any video or any documents or video photos that show him actually being captured. What's up with that?
I believe the videos are real. However, they might be, put up to be intimidating us. However, I think people are making the sacrifice to get killed out there. We're not really appreciated out there in the world. My aunts and uncles, they travel Europe and everywhere, and they always say they're from Mexico, even though they're from
Hey, Mike, did you just say that in the last show? Like you talking Spanish? You don't want to talk English?
Well, it's a little bit different in Europe. Yeah, they really don't like Americans. I actually was in Europe with my family and my mom, and I had to restrain myself. One particular incident in France and another in Germany. It's just crazy. Speaking English and these people just talking shit to your mom.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say? You're in a foreign country and I'm proud to be American. I'm proud of my Mexican culture, of my heritage. But, there was a point in time where there was people getting killed because their passport said Estados Unidos Mexicanos, which is very similar to the United States of America. And they killed them, but they were Mexican nationals. But this is how dumb these people are.
Yeah.
But, I definitely it was different being American in Europe, I would say. I think France was probably one of the main ones that stood out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there goes, stuff again,
I've
history.
actually found it. I've doubted it being out there. I've been in Hong Kong.
How was Hong Kong, man?
No, Hong Kong was the beautiful, beautiful place. However, the people treat us rude. For instance, one time we got in a taxi cab, and this guy wouldn't move.
Really?
You know what I mean? And we think, he was on break or
slow?
something. Oh, he wouldn't take us anywhere.
Really?
He's like, we're like, oh, you probably don't speak English, this and that, but, we need to go here. He's just like, he didn't move one bit. And he says, you guys get out. In perfect English. Get out. You know what I mean?
Were
just
you
like,
dressed in
"What?"
your...
No, but
They could
we're
tell.
recognized through our
Yeah.
high and tight.
You stand out like a sore
our
thumb.
lean
Yeah.
and mean, fighting machine.
That swag.
Yeah, he might have been scared of us, but still, he's just like, get out. We're like, wow, you do speak English.
Yeah. Well,
And
a lot of people see it as an invasion.
yeah, well,
We got a call coming in right now.
Oh, nice. I haven't had a call in
We
a
got
while.
John in the spot. What's going on, John?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good, brother. Hey, this guy, let me tell you about John, man. He's so cool because he went to the White House, in front of the White House, marched with the masks on of the
Anonymous?
anonymous peeps. So how'd you guys get away with that, man? Nobody bothered you guys or what?
No, well, I mean, we had the Million Mass March started last year, and then we went back this year, and even like a couple days before the march, it was actually on the 3rd. We were down there in front of the White House, and just some random cop comes walking up to us, and he's like, "Are you guys 2 days early?" They expected us.
Where do you
They
guys
expected us.
where do you guys get the courage to do that? I mean, do you guys feel for your safety because you might be put on a list, something that
Targeted?
targets you as a terrorist for defending your country?
I've been on the list since I started the march. I'm not really worried about it. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna live on your feet or die on your knees. You know what I
Real
mean?
talk.
And
there
I'm
you
not
go.
I'm not one to sit. I'm not one to sit. Bend over for the government. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, brother. Now, how do you feel about the wars overseas, though? Is that something that you think is appropriate, or do you think we should pull our dudes out of there? Because we have a former Marine in the house right now, my boy Edward right here, or Eddie. And is that your name, Edward or Eddie? What the fuck? What do we call
you
you?
want to call me, just don't call me later. I told you.
Okay, Mr. Ed. So that's even worse. No, but what do you say to a Marine like him who's, trying to serve his country, do the honorable thing? Do you think it's a appropriate thing to say you're doing the wrong thing?
No offense intended. I mean, I have cousins that are in the service right now. I have friends that are active right now, and I tell them the same thing. I tell them to get out as soon as possible. And as far as wars overseas, I think every single war needs to like stop immediately, because basically the only reason why wars are fought nowadays is basically for power, profit, and that's due to corruption.
Resources, yep. I hear you on that, man.
You know what I mean? And, it's just like, you ever hear the saying, Africa's not poor, it's getting robbed. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Damn, that's deep.
The question, while you were out in D.C., were there any people, acting crazy, anarchy? Was anybody getting arrested, or was it pretty peaceful?
I mean, it's peaceful for the most part. I mean, there was one guy who got arrested. At one point, one guy got arrested. Actually, before the march even started, this kid one of my friends had a pocket knife on him, and they arrested him. So we all ran down. And, he got arrested for a pocket knife, which is pretty ridiculous. They released him, no charges, nothing. They released him the next day. And then we got to the Capitol building, and this dude jumped over the wall, and it was kind of funny. I wasn't right there with him, but he told me afterwards. He was talking to some people that he was standing there with. He's like, "Dude, I'm jumping the wall." He's like, "You coming with me?"
Crazy.
And they were like, "No," but they were like, "Yeah." And then he jumps the wall, and nobody went with him.
That's fucked up.
At the Capitol building, dude, he's running up the stairs, throwing up peace signs. Got tackled by 8 cops.
That's
and
crazy.
then. Yeah, and then we get down the street a little bit, and something happened where somebody got arrested for the first person that got arrested. I'm not even exactly sure why he was getting arrested, but then there was, and I'm not sure if he's active duty, but he is in the service, but he got tased.
Damn.
And when he got tased, this other kid, he got tased and arrested. This other kid climbs underneath there was an 18-wheeler trailer, and they were on the other side, and they wouldn't let him close enough to videotape or take pictures. So he climbed under the 18-wheeler trailer, and then they tried arresting him for photographing on a public way, which is not illegal, but they tried to arrest him anyway. So he tried to run, and when he ran, they tried to tase him, but the taser hit his backpack, and he took off running down the street. Then the cops chased him, and then we chased after the cops, and then I mean,
what kind of a penalty was that? Would you get a felony for that?
Arrested.
Is that misdemeanor? What kind of charge do you get to hop over the fence?
He got the dude that got the soldier that got arrested, the tased and arrested, the kid that ran and got arrested, and the kid that jumped over the wall at the Capitol building, all released. None of them have to go back to court. They just get released.
Is it my understanding? I don't know if it's just the White House, but technically they could use deadly force with snipers. Is that correct?
Oh no, it wasn't. He didn't. He jumped the wall at the Capitol building, not the White House.
Okay, so it's only the White House where they could use lethal force.
I mean, but either last year this kid threw a banana peel over the fence at the White House.
Uh-huh.
They initially charged him with firing a missile at the White House because
I heard about that.
because the technical definition of a missile is a projected object, or you know what I mean. So yeah, but I think there's 3 different police that you deal with in DC. You have the Metro Police, you have the Park Rangers, and you have obviously Secret Service and FBI, but then you have the DHS, Department of Homeland Security. The Metro Police were cool. They were really cool. There was a senior officer, and he was basically he told us straight. He told a couple of people straight up. He's like, "You guys are doing what you're doing. You're being peaceful. You can do whatever you want." But then when it came to the Department of Homeland Security, they were instigating. They were getting in people's faces. They are the ones that caused the Department of Homeland Security. Are ones that caused those altercations and arrests.
It's because they bought $1 billion worth of bullets, so they want to use them.
Yep.
Hey, probably,
Yeah, man.
I mean, at the same time, when we were at the courthouse the next day to get our boys out of jail, and some dude was walking by. I actually have a video of the dude and of him talking, and he said that on the day of and the day before the march, the police or one of the agencies put out either a video or an APB basically saying that anybody that attended the quote-unquote illegal protest would be tased and arrested immediately. And that's basically just basically just trying to keep people from coming to the march. So
right.
You know what I mean? Trying
Discourage
to keep people away from it. Yeah.
Isn't it our legal, constitutional right to march even if it's in a public area, on a public sidewalk without being harassed by the police? I mean, what is the laws over there in D.C.?
Well, I mean, when at the first march when we all met at the Capitol, we all met at the Washington Monument, and my cousin, because we had a stage last year, and my cousin was back at Lafayette Park in front of the White House with the stage people setting that up, and they kept calling my phone. They're like, dude, you can't march from there. We didn't know you were meeting there, and blah, you can't march down the street. And then like some guy calls me back. He's like a sergeant or something, Metro Police. He's like, all right, you guys can march from the monument to the White House, but you have to stay on the eastbound sidewalk and obey the laws and be polite. And
so he was cool.
Yeah, he was cool. But then, you know, when we walked across the grass from the actual monument to the street, it was just like, you know, just like the saying goes, whose streets? You know what I mean? We just took the street and it was like,
these are our streets.
You know?
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and then that's why like the Metro Police are like we basically shut down. Last year we shut down like the streets for like 13 hours straight, and like this year we were out there till like 8 or 9 at night. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, I can congratulate you for what you're doing, brother, and keep pushing, bro. And we're here to back you up, man. Open Your Mind podcast has got you guys' back, dude, all the time, man.
One thing I want to touch on that Washington. I was actually there a few months ago, and one thing I wanted to say is that, man, there was cops everywhere. It seemed like there was just cop lights going off all the time. A lot of black on black Tahoes. A lot of Secret Service. It was pretty insane. Actually, I kept passing by the Pentagon, and I swear that they wiped out my fucking phone because, like, after 2 or 3 days I was there, and I was there for a Middle Eastern wedding. So that might have had something to do with it. But, yeah, it's definitely a whole other world out there in D.C. A lot of people don't understand what it's like out there, but there definitely is a lot of police and Homeland Security.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. This year we saw a lot of it. I mean, there's no like confirmation on it, but there was like a lot of the craft, like, you know, I mean, the tan boots, tan pants, and the black jackets. We saw them at like the courthouse, and we'd walk right up to them and be like, hey, you know who the craft is? You work for the craft, and they would just like turn around and like put their head down and walk away. Wouldn't say nothing.
Yeah, put a camera in their face, dude. Let them know what's good.
Were they trying to snatch anybody's cell phones? Because I know that's a new trend where you can't record me, and they try to jack your shit and erase it.
No, they didn't. I didn't see any of that, but I can tell you one thing. Last year, they kept having those SUVs ride by with like them satellite dish things on the top. And anytime there was like a presidential or a diplomatic like movement, they call, you could almost watch your battery drain.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Like on your phone, just because I mean I don't know what it was doing. I mean, like last year they were talking about they were going to deploy like almost like a Stingray type operation where they were like just mass scans electronic devices.
Just controlling the media, man.
Hey, John, let me ask you, when you guys are out there protesting and it gets kind of out of control, do you think some of the people out there might be provocateurs, you know, undercover cops?
Good question.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny any of that. I mean, I can tell you one thing, that throughout the entire march this year, there were a few guys. I mean, we'll put it these two specific guys. Like, I mean, if you're going to be an undercover cop, whether they were there to be a provocateur or not, I don't know. But if you are going to be a plainclothes police officer to monitor a protest or whatever, you might want to wear a sweater or a jacket that's long enough to cover your gun and your badge. You know what I mean? It might help you out a little bit, you know.
I hear that.
But even then, we had people get right up in their face, not just walk right up, take their pictures, video, not to cause a problem or anything, but just to let them know that we knew that they were there
and that you know your rights.
Yeah, and it's just like that. That's basically it. And
what do you think about all this, Ed? What's going on in your head, man?
No, just keep fighting the fight, man. You're doing a great job out there. Just, you know, don't give up, man. I wish I was out there with you.
Really? Would you wear your Marine uniform and march with us?
No, I don't fit in that crap no more.
You say you don't fit.
I don't fit.
You don't fit in it anymore.
Yeah, I would.
Hey, John. Well, thanks for the call, bro. We'll talk later. All right, man.
God
Thanks
bless.
for calling in.
All right, man.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a lot.
much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Later.
Have a good one.
Yeah, those are boots on the turf right there. You know, going to war in this concrete jungle, and some people will be like, "Oh, protesting doesn't do anything." I beg to differ. I think it does, and I actually got into it with somebody once, and I was like, "Why don't people protest no more?" It's because we're being engineered to just be in a little room and be on our phone or be on the TVs. That's why you don't. This new generation, the millennials, they don't understand. They don't have a concept of what it is. We don't have leaders, and the leaders we have, they kill them. You know, they assassinate them, and then it's like, no, we didn't do it, and then it gets declassified fucking 30, 40, 50 years later that they did have some sort of involvement. It's very sad, you know, because I love this country. I really do, and I love what we truly supposedly stand for on paper, but the actions that we're taking sometimes just don't mimic the majority of the people in America. And I think that's what the world doesn't understand, is that like we are not defined by what my government does or by what their foreign policy dictates. Like you can't hate me for that, just like I can't hate you because somebody blew themselves up and killed an American, but you have nothing to do with that organization. You know, and that's what a lot of people are lacking to understand, is that we're all just humans. We're not the ones who get the contracts. We're not the ones making the billions of dollars. We're not the ones getting any of this shit. We're not the, you know what I mean? And it is just very unfortunate that
billions of dollars we're talking about, man.
Trillions, man.
So
It's
I could
gonna
understand
amount
when
to
you say we need the Constitution is outdated. I could totally agree with you that it does need to be amended where we can actually get these assholes who find loopholes, who can make money off of making contracts and picking more troops and more troops over in these foreign lands. And I think we're taking the resources like opium and what was that shit called? Lithium. But going back to the draft, I wanted to say, you know, back in the day when there was a war like the Vietnam War, you would actually sit at the television, you'd be flipping through the channels. There was no TMZ. There was none of that bullshit. What you were actually seeing was the fucking war going down. You would see body parts. You would see explosions. You would see your family member getting killed. That's why it was so big for people to protest and stop these wars. Today, it's like, where the fuck's the war at? We're in these wars that we don't even witness. Ed, what do you think? Should we bring back the draft? Maybe have a draft for people, the rich people that bring their kids in and have to go to war?
Oh, there'll be a loophole for them.
Like I said, I don't want to serve with anybody that doesn't want to be there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't.
They're going to be out for themselves.
I think everybody should be accountable, and you know, just because I feel a certain way, it's, you know, I wanted to serve my country.
Have you ever taken anyone's life in a foreign land?
No, I have not.
Have you ever drove a tank?
No, I've never drove a tank.
Have you ever been inside of a tank?
Yes.
Okay. And has anything ever crazy happened where you were in the tank, maybe?
No.
No, it was peaceful?
Yeah.
You ran over a couple kids and that was it?
No.
Like the guy in San Diego go over on the freeways and shit. Go AWOL.
There was no dudes running up to your tank going,
No, I just think we need more guys like John out there fighting the good fight for our troops, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just preaching the word and, you know, actually making a statement out there. I think you know, we all need to do it. If we are the United States, we need to be united and show our support for troops more often.
And I think everyone that goes to war, there should be a tax on war. The American people should pay every goddamn penny for war until we're so goddamn hurt like we are now to say enough is enough. Jesse Ventura said that. We need to have a tax on war because when we're at war, we should be hurting. Everyone should be hurting. We should be all in pain until we get our guys back home. And you see these pictures of dudes in caskets and the mother's holding the baby and the baby's reaching out for her dad, dude. And it's like, it's so fucking sad, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to pull the heartstrings of Americans. I'm trying to say, is it a fucking real good excuse to go is what I'm trying to say.
It better be. Shit. I mean, one thing I want to say, too, is another thing is that they
not just for money. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, they banned the media from videotaping or photographing any of the caskets of the dead soldiers coming back from war zones. They made it illegal where I really think there's a disconnect between the average citizen and a Marine or Army vet or anything. There's a huge disconnect. There's just this thing, oh, well, he's doing something, but it doesn't affect me. That's how a lot of people think. It just doesn't affect them. And why do they think this way? I don't know. Maybe the lack of education, maybe the video games, maybe the water, the chemtrails, who knows? But one thing I do want to say that has changed ever since 9/11 is this whole ideology of preemptive warfare. And that is very critical because preemptive thing is very scary. It's kind of what Obama's doing. He's just preemptively doing, hey, well, they might do this, so we're going to get them before they do it. And that's very scary because they're starting to implement that on our average citizens here on our homeland, you know? And it's funny that they call it the homeland because that's pretty much what Hitler referred to, you know, in Nazi Germany. And one thing a lot of people need to understand is that Operation Paperclip, after World War II, we took all 700 scientists and doctors that were Nazis, that were doing all these crazy experiments, brought them into America, gave them jobs at NASA, gave them jobs at Ivy League schools. You know, we funded them. So the Nazis never really lost the war, and that's why we're kind of going where we're going. We're pretty much piece by piece. You know, they're destroying the Constitution,
For
our Bill of Rights.
For those that don't know what preemptive war means, it's a war that is commenced in an attempt to repel or defeat a perceived offensive or an invasion.
It's pretty much an excuse to go to war without even having a specific threat, right? Yeah, and that's very scary. And one thing I'm against war is that people don't understand is that innocent people that are dying. I mean, it's how many terrorists have really died? Who knows? Like they'll have a drone, a predator drone, go out. Oh, we have a location, and it turns out so many times that they were celebrating a wedding or that people were at a funeral. It just turned out so many times. It's like, man, we're America. We should have better intelligence than this. Like, what is happening? What is going on? Are we being lied to? Do they know that, or was it just a mishap? I understand shit happens. I really do. But when it's repetitive and it keeps happening, and you have all this bad shit, like it's really time to sit back and rethink. Hey, you know what? All this money really isn't doing shit because we've invested all this money. I heard they built a air base or a field out there in Iraq, dumped like $10 billion, and they just dumped it. They never even used it. And they just left it there. And all the materials that they had out there, they just started blowing them up.
Bill O'Reilly said that
that's crazy.
Bill O'Reilly loves you, man. He said, I support drone attacks. Unless someone can show me proof that these strikes kill innocent civilians, I will continue to support using them. And besides, if you're living in close proximity to the Taliban or some other terrorist group, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. If your family dies on one of these airstrikes.
Yeah, but where's he saying that from? In a safe, comfort area. Go out there and say that, and
get his ass beat,
story.
Get fucking his arms ripped off,
a different story. However, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
That's one of the reasons why they don't like us over there is because we just, brush our shoulders off. This is no big deal.
Well, that's the thing. That's what they're seeing. So they think we're all like that.
Right.
We're really not. That's
exactly.
the problem, is that the mass media has such a...
But a lot of us are. I mean, go America,
Yeah.
We hate terrorism. Dude, I was saying that shit when 9/11 hit because I was
I think
in
we
shock.
all were.
Yeah.
I think we all were. I mean, shit, we're proud to be Americans. We don't expect to be attacked,
I was 15 years old, bro. I woke up
Shit.
and I saw airplanes hitting a building. I said, oh, there must be a movie going down or something. And I realized it was an attack on our country. I remember there was no planes in the sky. It was a scary feeling hearing these fucking jets fly over my house, dude, because, national security flying over us, bro. It was a terrifying moment in my life. I thought, fuck, are we going to get hit again? Are we all going to die? Are there bombs set up in the deserts or around our neighborhoods ready to blow up and nuke the shit out of us?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was actually in high school, my senior year. I was in my econ class, and I remember specifically our teacher saying, you will remember this for the rest of your life. And sure enough, ever since back then, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I was younger. I was like, yeah, whatever, I just want to get out of here, get out of school. But the impact on it, I just really wasn't big into politics around that time. But then once that hit, it really started opening my mind to question more. I'm like, wait, what's really going on here? Like, how did that building fall and no plane hit it? You know what I mean? Or hey, how was it that the Pentagon got hit and the side that got hit was supposedly reinforced, months prior? And not only that, you look at all the pictures. Where's the plane?
Yeah. That was the only spot, too, that was able to be protected or strong enough to withhold an airplane hitting it.
Yeah.
Out of the whole building, the whole giant, octagon shape?
Pentagon.
Oh, Pentagon. Octagon. No, but the shape of it
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
the fuck.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
the front.
No, I hear you.
Anyway, but this dude right here who used to run with the government.
Who's that?
This is Henry Kissinger.
Oh, yeah.
Control oil and you control nations. Control food and you control people.
Monsanto.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I wanted to touch on that from our previous show. Was that football player that I was talking about that turned down like $37 million to continue?
Pat Tillman.
No, not Pat Tillman. This was a recent guy. I'll get his name right now. But he pretty much turned down all that money to go start a farm. Okay. And he started farming sweet potatoes, and his goal is to give away all this food. And it's kind of cool that this guy turned it away because his agent was like, oh, this is the worst thing you're going to do. But you know what? When you really, truly love what you're doing, and this guy's actually, I think he's a role model, and the problem is that we're looking like the what was the guy that beat the shit out of it? Rice?
Oh,
Ray Rice.
Ray Rice. I mean, you got all these other guys doing all this other stuff. I mean, I want to see guys like him. Again, Pat Tillman, do you, can you give us a little background on that?
Well, no, it's just
he was a football player too, right?
Right, he was a football player who's
and enlisted.
You
talk about this dude, Mike?
Yeah. He
Jason Brown.
Yeah, that was a guy. Yeah.
Yeah, my opinion on Pat Tillman is just he just gave the ultimate sacrifice. Whether what happened over there,
But that's another guy to look up to.
No, yeah, absolutely. He's not the only hero. But,
of course.
He could be considered a hero along with
Well,
everybody else.
The reason I say hero is because like he's from the NFL where everybody, when you're a little kid, what do you want? Oh, I want to play in the NBA. I want to play this. And I feel like that's what's fucked up in this country is that we look so much emphasis on sports than we fucking do on our own politics in our world that affect us, our socioeconomical stuff. And it's just sports. And it's like little kids or in AYSO or whatever it may be, and it's kind of sad because more kids know about these heroes, quote unquote, than the guys that are sacrificing everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, shout out to the dudes
You know?
sacrificing out there, man, putting their fucking lives on the
Exactly.
line.
Real
and
talk,
shit,
man.
That's
Real
what makes
talk.
Pat Tillman a hero. He sacrificed, just like
Yeah.
every one of our troops.
He
that
took the nice,
Every
comfortable
single one. God bless him.
lifestyle, you know, of having
Right.
millions of dollars, all the
Yeah.
women.
Not only that he
alcohol,
was
drugs,
an NFL player and all that, he gave up this and that. It's just that he was man enough to do it.
to do it.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
matter what he did, if he was a farmer,
Exactly.
whatever.
Real talk.
I'm
man.
just saying, do it for the right reasons, man. If we're being attacked,
Yeah.
go, man. I'll
But,
go
but
with
what
you.
are, again, let's look at something a little bit deeper. What are our options? What, you fucking work at Walmart getting $8 an hour? I mean, because most
being a
of the,
greeter?
I mean, most people aren't as blessed to live in a metropolitan area like we do. You know, where we're out here. There's a lot of people across this. You know, it's farmland, it's rural
Right,
areas.
right.
It's a lot of broke, a lot of economic. You know, these people are living in poverty. So what is their real option in life?
Damn.
You know, that's another thing we got to look at. We're like, hey, recruiters. That's what I want to talk about. If a recruiter's coming into my area, nobody's gave a shit about me my whole life. They're coming to me, hey, you know what? Hey, you're
Right.
pretty strong, man. Hey, you look like, you know, what do you want out of life? And they start talking to me and they start, you know, implementing these ideas like,
Right,
hey, you
right.
want to go to school? You want to bring your family up? Obviously, we
Yeah.
all want to further ourselves, I would like to think. And so it's much easier to go into the inner city just like these for-profit colleges do
Right.
and go and recruit. But as far as your experience with recruiters, do you have any stories along those lines?
I'm just saying that he didn't have to recruit me. I found him. I
That-
knew what I wanted to. I wanted to be a Marine.
Where'd you find them, at the Walmart?
Nah, I found him in high school. He actually bypassed me. He just walked by me. He was recruiting everybody else.
Cool.
He's like, no way this kid wants to be a Marine. No way. It looks like a challenge. You know what I mean? But I went up to him. I said, you know what? You know, what do you got? I'm interested, you know?
Convince me.
Yeah. He's like, what? Oh, you actually...
That's cool, man. What grade were you in?
I was a senior.
A
high
senior?
school. Like I said, yeah.
Oh, back then, actually, one thing I want to touch on, when I think I was like a sophomore or junior, I remember telling my mom, I was like, yeah, I want to go to the Air Force. I want to, you know, I want to fly planes. I want to fly all this stuff. And I remember her specifically telling me, no, there's going to be a war. And I was like, you're crazy. This is America. And then, boom, 9/11 happens and the whole world changed.
Yeah. He actually wanted me to go open contract because I could have been a cook. I could have been a supply guy. Well, not. I said, no,
Do
I'm trying to
those
work hard
people-
for the infantry.
Do
That's
they
it.
still get training as far as like weapons and all that type of training? I'm guessing.
Well,
like,
everybody? Yeah,
yeah,
every Marine's
everybody?
trained as a basic rifleman. But
Okay.
however, the infantry, they specialize in.
They specialize.
Like,
okay.
you know, the Air Force, they have their pilots. You know,
Okay.
the Navy has their captains. And I'm taking that from
and
an article I read by
Okay.
by a Marine because there's this theme between pogues, which are not grunts, and then the grunts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grunts specialize in their training, and you know the life. If you want that life, you got to accept it and embrace it because it's not for everybody.
You got to be a G for that,
Yeah,
man. You got to
yeah.
really be willing to do it.
You know,
yeah.
and it takes a special person, like I said, to do something like that.
And you know, I've heard so many people, mostly little older people. I remember my mom, like, oh yeah, you know, my friend, her husband's out in Iraq. Or
Right.
a lot of, you know, where it brings a lot of stress and a lot of strain on people because obviously while they're out there getting paid the crap that they're getting paid, you
Yeah.
know, families still out here still got to survive, still got to pay the rent, still got to take the
Yep.
kids to school, raise them, and do all this. And I don't feel like there's enough going on. I remember back in the day, you know, after school there was programs. Nowadays it's like there's nothing going on. I mean,
Right.
it seems like we're not investing money in our communities. What do you think has to change for people to really embrace, you know, a different world? I guess I don't know.
Everybody needs to take a moral inventory. You know, they need to look at themselves and say,
Damn.
you know, we have to be selfless, not selfish.
Oh.
You know, who cares how it's going to affect me? You know, we got to better our people. We got to better each other. You know, we're called the United States, not the divided states. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And when
We
they
gotta be
and when,
united.
and when they do this, what do you do?
What's that, me?
So you're like, yo, you need to check your inventory. You get your moral accountability, your moral compass,
Absolutely.
and all they're doing is this.
That's just, you know, the way society is now. It's unfortunate,
But you know what? That's always existed.
but
You're
not
always gonna
everybody,
find that.
not everybody feels that way though.
True.
Not everybody feels that way.
True.
Look at John who called in. He's out there, you know, supporting, climbing walls, you know. Yeah, and just
And,
kicking ass
and
out
some
there
people might
in
be like,
different ways.
and I know that if I was watching certain news outlets, they would be looking at, oh, these terrorists, these home, you know, they're gonna
Right.
make it look like it's bad when in actuality they're standing there for, hey, you know what? We don't want you to mess with our internet. We don't
Right.
want you to mess with our privacy. We want to be
Yeah.
able to have these, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I
it's
know.
just a trip, man. Like a lot of people see you put on a little mask or something, oh, they get scared all of a sudden. It's
Yeah.
demonized almost.
Right.
But how do you feel about like
Do
this?
you get sorry to cut you off? Do you
Yeah.
guys remember that Marine that was cursing at the cops when they were protesting? And I'm gonna pull up this video real quick.
Let's check it out.
and he was basically screaming at them like, "Why are you bothering these people?" But let's see.
Have a good night, guys. You see it, baby. They don't lie.
Let's go.
They don't lie. They don't lie. They don't lie, tough guy. This is not a war zone. This is not a war zone. These are unarmed people. It doesn't make you tough to hurt these people. It doesn't make you tough to hurt these people. It doesn't. I don't care. I don't care about these people. I put in my work. It doesn't lie. It does not make you tough to hurt these people. There's nothing tough about it. Nothing. If you want to go fight, go to Iraq and Afghanistan. But you want to be here hurting U.S. citizens. Where is that in the contract? Where is that in the contract? Leave these people alone. They're U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens. U.S. It does not make you tough to do this to them. It doesn't. Stop hurting these people, man. Why y'all do this to our people? I've been to Iraq 14 months for my people. You come over here and hurt them. They don't have guns. They don't have guns. They don't. Why are you hurting these people? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, how do you counter that? Been to Iraq 14 times.
How do you sleep at night? There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this, man. There's no honor in this shit. There is no honor in this shit.
Well, you guys
That's
get
straight
the idea.
passion, bro. That's straight passion. You know, he makes a great point, but for him doing that, can he be penalized or face any sort of?
I don't see why. He's an American. I mean, he's standing up for his rights.
But he's in uniform and he's confronting the
Oh,
police.
that's what I mean, because he's in uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. No. He's just standing up for his people.
Yeah, and he makes a good, valid point, right? But I don't know what they're protesting about.
Right, exactly.
But I do agree with what he's saying. I mean, those people do look like average people, and they are in New York.
Well, it just shows you, a lot of people are frustrated.
Oh, of course.
You
Yeah,
can
of
feel
course.
You can feel the tension,
Yeah.
even without the media portraying things
Yeah.
on that. You know what I mean? You feel the tension. We're not dumb. We know what's going on.
Some of us are dumb though. Now, if they recruited us to go back and serve, Ed, would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
If there was a
Absolutely.
draft and you were called to serve your country,
Absolutely.
really?
Yeah. no
Hector,
doubt
what about
it.
you, man? Would you jump in there?
I've been called
I
back.
would.
I went. I've been called back. I was out. They called me back. I dropped everything, went back. I didn't get placed where I wanted to. Every Marine wants to fight, train to fight, but they need
Now,
me for something else.
now you said you haven't been out in the battlefield though. Now, if you had to
No.
go out and shoot innocent people because they were
Go
in the
shoot
way,
innocent people.
I'm saying like you're chasing a bad guy. I've seen videos of these dudes that are driving cars and they're shooting up people, and then the Marines see it in their Humvees and they start chasing them.
Right.
You're running over kids and stuff trying to capture these
I can't
idiots.
speak on that. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. That comes with the job, bro. You're talking about what you love to do.
Whatever I have to do to protect my brothers,
Yeah.
protect our country.
It's a trade-off, unfortunately. I speak
Yeah.
about
I can't
trade-offs.
speak about that. I haven't been in
It's-
that situation. I've been in other situations.
It's like we're saying, in the wars, but unfortunately, in the reality of the world, to be a secure world,
Right.
there has to be war. Unfortunately, because there are some crazy fucking people out there with their ideologies that are so different.
Right.
And also here, and I'm not agreeing, war can be different. There's a war on drugs. There's a war on
Poverty.
On poverty. There is a war. There's a
Yeah.
trade-off. In order for us to live all nice and comfortable and have indoor plumbing and electricity 24 hours a day, to have clean water that we could get from our faucet, it's a fucking trade-off. And that's why we feel entitled, because we are living in America, born here. Wow. You cry, you get your fucking iPad. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
put on Frozen. Wow.
Men and women
your
are out there fighting.
Your McDonald's, your Walmart's.
Right.
This is all you know. So can you really blame the general public for being sheep that they are?
Pacified.
It's just, I see it as this. I hate being a pessimistic person because I'm very optimistic. But honestly, in my lifetime, there will never be peace on this planet. As far as what peace is looked at, is like where everybody gets along, nobody's dying in war and stuff. Because there's too many ideologies. Now with the internet and globalization, there's too much going on. People are so different, and I don't know. I just feel like people aren't proud to be Americans, and I hate that. I hate saying that statement because I truly am proud. And most people, like, if I speak against war, though, like, people automatically, oh, you're anti-American.
Right.
And I hate that, because
Support our troops.
and I do support the troops. And again, I have cousins, I have friends, they might be listening in right now. And I know I talk to them. I remember talking to them on Facebook when they're in Iraq, and they're like, yo, Mike, go on YouTube, checked out this weapon, anti-aircraft,
Right,
and
right.
that's what he's like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do in Iraq,
And
and I'm just like, dang, that's
I
wild.
support our troops, but not if they're doing it for the wrong reasons, because that's like a blanket of a statement. Like, what
do
are
you
you
mean the wrong
supporting
reason?
them for?
But
What?
What do you mean the wrong reasons?
What?
What do you mean the wrong reasons?
Like going in, like I said, and fucking up countries, and just to have them rebuilt by the Halliburton group,
but the thing is, like, they were unaware of all this stuff. The thing is, when that
they just
thing's
follow
happening-
orders, and that's what pisses me off.
But
It's like,
when you go clock in at work and they tell you, what are you doing? You're following orders, bro.
no, I go on break. Fuck that.
No, but the thing is, overall,
Negative.
every person, wherever you go, whether you work at McDonald's
No,
or
I hear
work
you.
for-
I hear
have
you,
to
but
do your job.
but here's the thing: there is a moral standard, and like when I do have to do something like you're saying at work, I always look at the person that I'm talking to, whatever I'm doing, as another person. Not they're better than me or anything like
Yeah.
that, and I make my own decisions, whether or not I lose my job. I'm gonna keep doing that. You know what I'm saying?
But most of these people, they got a family to feed, they
Yeah.
got rent.
Yeah, I hear you. Like it's saying, like you were saying, stop using gas for a week,
Yeah,
and show
boycott.
these gas stations like, fuck you, we're not gonna pay your $5 a gallon. But then again, people got to get to work.
Yeah.
People got to move. People got to go. It's crazy, man. But Ed, what's up, man? We got 19 minutes left, bro.
Damn.
If you can tell these people out in the world, man, what this country should be about, what would you like to tell them, man?
No, I'm not ready to tell anybody.
But if you
what it should be
had,
about.
let's say
Just-
you were the cousin of the president, he died, and you had to take over or something, even though the vice president would. But you were the vice president. Let's say that.
Okay, I'll play.
Theoretical.
Play, man. Just play with us.
So what's the question?
How would you like this country to? In your perfect world, what would you like this country to be, man?
To be unified.
Beautiful.
To everybody make sacrifices, not expect anything, and with that you'll be rewarded pretty much. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to go to the military. I'm not like that. If it's for you, great. Just do it for the right reasons. I think we're just a nation, it's pulling away from God.
Damn.
You know what I mean? It's
Let's
just
talk about God. What religion are you?
I'm a Christian.
They're taking away all the Bibles too.
Yeah,
and
but
the
they're
army
giving
and
it,
everybody
but,
now.
Yeah, but
Well,
they're
let me-
giving it to Muslims, and I don't know why it's okay for
Well,
Muslims to be.
Ed, you need to stop fighting over who created the world and fight against people that are destroying it, okay? And you're one of those guys
Oh,
destroying
yeah.
it.
Now you're my dad.
Hey, tell us about that. Your house catching on fire, man. I want to hear about this.
Really?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is appropriate. Go ahead.
Just
It's got to do with God. I mean, God is connected to everything to me.
Why
It's the
is it really?
universe. It's the universe,
Be a little
man.
bit-
Hey, you
be
could
a
have
little bit
been
more
burning,
down to that.
motherfucker. You
I could have
could've-
been.
What happened,
And
bro?
Could have been here in an urn.
How did welcome to the show, Ed? We got you in an urn here. How did your house catch? How did your house catch on fire?
The dryer caught fire. Collective lint.
Collective
Common
lint.
way, a lot of lint inside the dryer. Then vacuum it out. It's a common fire.
Where were you
fire
at? Were
shit.
you sleeping?
Yeah, I was sleeping. I was about,
Taking a
I
dump?
work graveyard, so I was about to come to work. It was about 9:30 at night. I heard all this commotion downstairs. Didn't think anything of it. I wanted 5 more minutes of sleep. Like anybody else does in the morning. And all of a sudden I hear fire, and I start smelling smoke. Woke up, checked, make sure everybody was out of the rooms. Had somebody call 911. I don't know. I think I think my time in the Marine Corps really helped me stay calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Under chaos.
How big was the fire?
It really
Wa-
helped it.
Was the whole shit lit up, or just the
Yeah.
roof? Or
No. Everything caught fire.
Damn, that
The
shit must have been
cars,
scary.
Yeah.
No-
The cars
nobody
and
caught on
everything.
fire?
No. We're blessed. We all got out alive. You know what I mean?
Was it total
It was chaos.
destruction?
It was chaotic. My mom was in there trying to save her car. I said, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car." She didn't listen.
That's what insurance
Get
is
out
for.
of the fucking car. Grab her by the hair. I love my mom.
Did
God
you
bless.
grab her? You grabbed her?
Yeah, I grabbed her by her hair, drug her out. I said, "This thing's about to explode." She's like, "I need my paperwork." No, you don't need shit. Get out.
Yeah,
You know?
I always think about that. So I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
going to
it-
grab?
Being
Fuck
on a
that.
fire, it's quite the experience. It's quite the experience, but you need.
How long ago was
remain
it?
calm. December 19, 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that was pretty recent.
It's
That
quite
was-
the experience. It is. But
And,
I think
and what ignited it, or what sparked
the
it?
dryer caught fire.
The dryer caught
yeah,
fire?
and
Oh,
just
yeah.
everything's made out of wood.
Yeah,
the house
yeah,
made out
yeah,
of wood and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's one
You
thing in
know, but-
America. All the houses are made out of wood.
I really, I thank God first and foremost, but I think my Marine Corps training, all the stress training really helped me keep
With your
composed.
everyday life?
Yeah, because everybody was just, they didn't know what to do. They wanted
Chaotic,
to take
right?
stuff, you want to take your, no, get the fuck out of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
the fuck out of the house right now.
Ever since you told me that story now, dude, I always trip out on my dryer. You know, I'm wondering.
No, you make sure you clean that motherfucker.
And what scares me is the tank right by it. You know, the heater.
Oh, the water heater.
Yeah, the water
absolutely.
heater.
That could
Because that
explode.
fucker, you hear stories, you see like a chopper flying over, like
You
this
got
house just
vehicles
blew
with
up,
gasoline.
and you
got
see the
liquids.
house like blowing
Yeah.
up to bits. It's like,
Absolutely.
damn, off of a
oh,
heater.
we're very blessed. That really put my life in
Yeah,
perspective.
I get paranoid of like leaving shit plugged in sometimes, or just
Yeah,
leaving the charger
yeah.
plugged in when the phone's not there. Like, you know, because you touch it and it's all hot and shit. And You
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
right?
a week later, I caught my girl cheating. I didn't give a fuck. You know, I didn't care. I
Damn.
said, you know what? I almost burned down. I'm alive. God
Word,
bless.
word up, man.
I said,
word
God
up.
bless you. Go ahead.
Go on
There's
with your
plenty
bad
of
self.
fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I want to touch on before we get on to more current events and stuff is what's your feelings on like all these shootings on army bases in the United States? That's one thing that I almost forgot about. You know how like that one guy? He
Yeah,
was
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he was a Muslim.
Yeah, he was.
I'm
he
not
was.
saying that had to do with anything.
You
but
hate Muslims, let's
I'm
face
just saying,
it.
No, I don't. I just hate people
No, he
who
was,
are
he was.
radical about it. If you're a Muslim, God bless you. You know, that's your religion. But if you're radical and you want to kill people and, you know, you want to
And
topple
the-
our government?
And that's
No,
the
not gonna
craziest
happen
thing
here.
because that's kind of like in my eyes, it's almost like a double agent in a way,
Right.
kind of like a spy.
Yeah.
I guess we could kind of use the word
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, hey, was this guy a plant?
Right,
Was he?
exactly.
You know, I watched the movie with Angelina Jolie, Salt, where you know the Russians and
Okay,
they try to
yeah,
come and take
yeah,
over
yeah.
the double agents and all that.
Yeah.
Because it is one thing that people don't understand is that there's a lot of agencies out there like the CIA and other
Mhm.
countries that collect information and
Right.
they're double agents, man. They play the role, bro.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
mean, what do you do in a world like that? And you're talking about Islam and Muslim.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google this, but just recently there was a Muslim cleric at the House or in Congress
Right.
and was actually giving like a prayer and praising Allah and all this stuff.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's a negative thing or bad. Allah, I have a lot of Middle Eastern friends, and one thing I learned is that Allah is God. So it's just a
Right,
different
yeah.
language. Don't get scared, but the crazy thing was that this is 2014 and now you have a Muslim cleric
Right.
person inside there, with the United States flag. I thought it was a beautiful thing in a way because I was like, hey, I hope that we could continue. But at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, like I could see where people could kind of get scared, like, hey, you know what? You're banning all
Yeah.
this or Christian stuff, all the books, or it says in God we trust, or the Pledge of
It's
Allegiance.
just all the evil. It's all the evil in it, all the ideology, all the extremists.
Are you
There's
fami-
some Christians that are extreme.
Of course. Well,
In,
I mean,
Ireland, everything.
I would argue the Crusades.
Texas?
I would argue the
Waco,
Crusades.
Texas, yeah.
The Crusades were very
Waco,
violent.
Texas.
They were going into. Look at what the conquistadors,
Right.
Hernan Cortez, all these people came to Mexico and
Yeah.
raped, pillaged, and they pretty much forced people
Yeah, it's
to.
not. Yeah, so
I mean, if you look at the history of any religion, they're pretty violent.
right,
Any religion, right?
it's just people, human nature.
It's people, exactly.
It's human nature, and we have the ability to act on it or not.
Do you
or
know
defend
who
it.
Bill Maher is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher. You know how he said a statement that was pretty much about anti-Muslim, and
Right.
he's saying they're violent, this, that, and I enjoy watching his show, and I respect him as a comedian and what he does, his show. But how do you feel about him saying something like that? Where I could understand kind of where he's coming from, but then again, I have a lot of Muslim friends who are nothing like that.
Right, exactly. Like
But
I said,
again, they live in America, and we're Americanized.
It's just like extremists. I mean, there's touchy subjects.
Yeah, definitely.
Homosexuality, or do I hate homosexuality? No.
Oh, that's
no.
another thing. Homosexuals
Yeah,
in the
I don't-
army.
I don't mind.
Or
whatever. As long as they don't try to force their beliefs on me. I accept people for who they are.
Exactly.
But don't try to throw it in my face and tell me I have to accept something or another, like with Muslims and Christians who are extreme.
Yeah.
Want to cause evil and stuff like that.
And
No,
again,
I'm not
isolated incidents.
Let
you
me
know?
let me ask you about your religious beliefs, because doesn't it say thou shalt not kill, and you're talking about going and serving and possibly killing somebody?
We're all imperfect.
That's a good question. I actually asked that question too when I used to go to Catholic school, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, that's the biggest hypocrisy there is." He's like, "Well, not if you're doing it for something good." And it sounds kind of messed up saying something good, but if you're fighting for your religion and for the better end of the bargain, then it's accepted because you're actually kind of like a martyr in a way, I would say. I don't know, not a martyr. That's a bad thing because martyrs, a lot of them think of somebody going in there and blowing themselves up. But if you're doing it for your cause and good, then it's not a bad thing. That's what they told me.
As long as it's for the good, for the better of humanity, it's fine. I have no problem with it. But when people are trying to instill their values that are piss poor and evil, No, I can't accept that.
I agree,
I'll
man.
defend the fight. You asked me if I would go back.
How do you
I
feel about
would.
capital punishment, bro?
It depends on the situation, circumstances.
Rapists, murderers.
Yeah, they should never be let out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it that?
Let the military use them as target practice.
What? You know, it's funny because I always argued. I was like, man, you know, we're paying to have these people in these privatized prisons, but yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff that could be done. You know, under some strict control. I'm sure there's some of them that are willing and able to pick up fucking trash. You know,
Right.
you have a shotgun pointed at them the whole time. You know, like let's get something. Let's get these
Let them
people.
pick up the trash and then shoot them in the head.
Well, you know, prison was meant for rehabilitation.
Yeah. My point is, it's just, you know, not everybody in prison is a bad person.
No, of
People,
course.
you know, the laws are
They're
the
all
way they
innocent,
are.
bro.
Yeah, no, not everybody. Not
I'm
everybody.
kidding.
You know what I mean? But there's some people in prison that are innocent. Not, you know, they might have been in a circumstance where they had to make the right choice. Maybe their girlfriend was getting raped and they killed the guy or something like that.
Yep.
It's against the law. They go to prison. Not everybody's a bad person in prison.
It's
You know
you know
what I
it's a jury. You know, you're supposedly innocent till proven guilty, which can be a good thing.
Wherever else in the world is you're
guilty
until proven innocent.
Well, you know, one thing in China, you know, there was a political corruption and a scandal,
Right.
and you know what they did? They brought this guy in front of the media, and they fucking killed this motherfucker. You know, can you imagine like the guys from Enron and all these people that are fucking everybody else, and just like, you know what? Yeah, let's televise this shit, and just boom.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would really think about like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do things like that because it's just, you know, we criticize these third world countries as being hardline,
Right.
but I think
But they're really disciplined. They pray like what 9 times a day or something.
5 times a day towards Mecca, yeah. But then again, it's like 1 out of 100 Americans is locked up. So it seems like there's a lot of money involved.
It is. We're a capitalist country.
Yeah, man. But you
So-
know, overall though,
Go ahead, dude.
overall, Lou, how do you feel about the situation? Where do you think it's headed?
I think it's headed for war. I think we're headed for a big war. The only way we can get rid of that is to stop our military pressing on everybody, you know. And with this picture right here, government. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, they will never be enough. I think that's what we're doing. We're pumping the oil out. You know, Saudi Arabia, we got big contracts with them. We're using resources so that we can fulfill our stupid little cell phones that we exchange every 2 years and that just keep piling up. We can make a difference, but we have to realize the problem. And I think we're too damn passive or pacified. And like this picture states right here, you know, back in the day, there was a king who would say, we're going to go ahead and start taxing your tea. And then the Americans are like, what the fuck did you just say to me, you little bitch? And it says, you know, can't outgun the Washington. And then in America 2013, you got a dude saying, we're going to go ahead and tax everything you do, grab your guns, imprison you indefinitely, spy on your internet searches, and regulate the size of your soda drinks. Deal with it. And then dudes are like, not the soda. You know, we're more about pleasing ourselves than making the sacrifice of a better tomorrow. Like, you know, your heart's in the right place, Ed. When you say, you know, you want to make a better future, you know, you're going to put your heart on the line. It takes a special person to be a Marine, and you prove yourself worthy. It's because your intentions. What's up?
To be in the military period.
Yeah.
You proving yourself that you have the heart and you want to make a change. Unfortunately, who are you following orders from? You know,
I can't control that. You know, people in the military, they can't control that. What they can control is, you know, watching the ass of the person to the left or right of them, and that's what
it's
that's
about.
what we gotta do.
Protecting
We
each
gotta
other
defend this country.
and taking over shit, though.
It's like a job of a telemarketer. You don't want to sit there and keep calling all these people, but hey, that's your job. That's what you got to do. You got to inconvenience some people. You got to inconvenience yourself. And I know it's not on the same level. It's just metaphorically speaking. But one thing I do want to say, a quote that was, I think this is an awesome quote. It says, money is numbers, and numbers never end. If it takes money to be happy, your search for happiness will never end. That was from Bob Marley. I love
That's
that
my
quote.
nizzle.
I love that quote just because it's so true, man. When there's things that never end, you know, the happiness could, me personally, I think people put success with money, and I think it should be happiness and love, and the world needs more love. And it might sound cliche and whatever, but we honestly do need to love more. I could walk down the street and not get one smile or one hello from anybody. Where I remember back in the day, it was kind of different. Where you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, and now it seems like everybody's fucking scared.
Yeah.
They're just like, "That guy looks like a terrorist." I mean, you even go watch a movie these days, and they pass, you know, before the what's that shit called, the previews. They're passing. If you see somebody suspicious, if you see a suspicious package, or like, it's just like, dude, they're teaching this new generation.
Well, that's because people come and fuck it up. Look at
Yeah,
there's a shooting in the movie theater.
no, and I understand all that, but it's just crazy to the lengths that it's getting to now because it's just. it's kind of nuts to me, man.
Check out this picture right here. Oh shit, where is it? Okay, so 1993 we had all this good shit, you know. Now we have one thing that has all of these things in it, the cell phone. Why do we still use the same gas engine we used 100 years ago? And we were talking about the evolution of that, me and you, Mike, before the show started.
Yeah.
Talk about electric cars and all that.
Electric cars, man, it's the future.
Big money, bro. Big money running the oil, running everything. When we can be evolving as people, there are fucking dudes that take care of all of us, and we don't even know it. You know, we're required to put gas in our cars instead of being able to have electric engines, hybrids, all that good stuff. Why is that?
Well, what's crazy about it is that ISIS, you know, this group, ISIL, ISIS, whatever, IS, they actually operate like a government. They actually have oil fields. They make $1 million per day. These guys are not funded by Saudi Arabia or this. Or they are self-contained, making money. They get ransom money. They're taking over all sorts of things. But then again, who used to support the rebels in Syria? You guys recall Obama saying we would support the rebels? Who did those rebels turn out linking up and being? ISIS. And it's a clusterfuck of stuff. You know, you can't sit there and blame one person because there's so much more going on. It's a much more intricate and complex is the word I always throw out there. I like giving my opinions. I like talking about this because people's emotions really get ruffled up when you talk about war,
and again,
religion.
We're training these dudes. We're training these guys. The troops that went over to Iraq, they're not going to be dealing with civilians. They're not going to be dealing with the enemy. They're training the Iraqis.
And arming.
Yeah, and arming, right? Yeah. So they can defend their country.
With taxpayer money.
Right?
Capitalism.
Shit. Yeah. Hear that bass? All right, welcome to the show, Open Your Mind Podcast. What's up? We got Eduardo in the spot. We got Hector in the spot. We got Mike in the spot. And, of course, DJ Lou. What's going on, everybody?
What up, everybody? Good morning, man. Welcome to the show.
I think it's lunchtime now.
Oh, shit. Is it? Running an hour late, but we good.
Eduardo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. Where's the weed?
Thank you for having me here. All right, in my top drawer.
Hey, well, what the fuck? Oh, light outage, power outage. Oh. Hey, Mike, you know what we got to do, right?
You guys didn't pay the bill?
I forgot to pay the shit.
You guys get 15 minutes or what?
There's a sensor, it goes off. And anyway, dude, so how long did you serve as a Marine, bro?
4 years, 6 months.
Damn, man, are you proud? Get closer to the mic. Are you proud of that?
Oh, I love it. I loved every day of it. A lot of it was hell, but...
Why did you enlist?
That's what you signed up for. Because I was told I couldn't.
Who told you couldn't, bro?
You know, nobody. Uncle's dad.
They said you were...
Grandpa.
Pretty much everybody in your family.
Say you're too soft. You couldn't be a Marine.
Damn, you proved them wrong, bro.
Oh, I sure did.
Props to that.
You know they lowered the standards.
Yeah.
That's fucked
up. No, they really did. Like, the enlistment rate was so low that they had to lower it to where people don't even have to have a high school diploma and shit.
Yeah. Wow. No, but the Marine Corps, they're really strict about that. They want you to have the old standards. You know, it's all hush-hush, but, you know, the Army, they'll accept you. Navy, they'll accept you. But Marine Corps is different breed.
Right. What did you go through in the training? Was it, damn, do I sound loud or what? Was there a lot of
self-conscious?
Was there intense training that you had to go through? I mean, what kind of shit did you, I remember you were saying you had to carry some shit on your back up a mountain or some shit like that.
No, just everyday stuff.
I mean, you told me this shit. I'm not making this up.
Only 80 pounds of gear. That's all.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, run up there. It's funny though, because I'm still chubby in there. I'm passing people up there. Can't cuss or what?
Of course.
Do whatever you want,
America.
Man. Now, did you ever want to quit?
All the time, every day.
And what kept you
every
pushing?
Day.
It was like, my grandpa said I couldn't. I got to keep going.
Yeah, pretty much. Not my grandpa. My grandpa supported me. Rest in peace.
He was still peeps?
You know, it's my uncles and shit. Just what they're saying.
Right.
Because I had an uncle that joined and he didn't make it.
Why not?
Because he popped positive for PCP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
Yeah. He joined the Marine Corps and he.
But I thought that'd be acceptable since our own government, you know, they do all types of experiments.
Yeah,
on
you
us,
would think, right? You would think, but
because isn't it proven that they have given drugs to soldiers to see how they react?
I mean, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I've seen certain documentaries like that where they're testing drugs and they've actually, you know, our government is they're quite active in the drug trade. I don't know.
They are. I was part of that anthrax thing. Got 5 shots of anthrax.
Were you part of it?
Yeah.
Wow. Were you one of the guys that was babysitting the poppy fields like this dude right here? 13,600 soldiers will stay in Afghanistan after 2014.
Yeah.
Someone has to protect the Oxycontin or condom, whatever.
Yeah, for real.
What do you think about that, bro? Like, what's your feeling on that?
I can't say, man. Never been to Afghanistan.
But I'm saying, you know,
No
we
love for them.
babysit the poppy fields. Like, what do you think about that?
That's one way to look at it, I guess.
I thought we were drug free. I thought we had a war on drugs. So why are we
Well,
babysitting?
if you believe that, I mean, you're a silly motherfucker.
Well, that's not nice.
Not you, but in general.
Hector, what about you, man? What do you think about us babysitting the poppy fields?
I think their own government should do it.
Beautiful. But, yeah, I mean, if we destroy this stuff, apparently the pharmaceutical places would go out of business because they have a special ingredient that they put inside of the medicine that we have to need. This is 90% of the poppy fields, bro, or the, what is it called, Mike?
90% of the opium in the world.
Opium. That's the word I was looking for.
You got all that from one meme?
No, man, this isn't a meme, bro. This is not a meme.
I've actually never heard that argument. I know about Iraq, you know, we're there for the oil.
Well, let me show you another picture then, Mr. I don't know anything. Let's see. Proof the U.S. government is criminal enterprise organization. U.S. controls Afghanistan poppy fields for heroin. I can't read that down there. CIA drug plane captured in Mexico with 3.7 tons of cocaine. It's a CIA plane. Now, were they deporting this shit? Were they going to go destroy it? I don't know, but it seems a little fishy.
One thing I do want to point out, though, like you were saying, you know, the Marines is different. And, like, that's one thing I want to touch on because somebody thinks, like, oh, the CIA, the FBI, the police, they're all friends, they're all pals. But they're really not. They're actually kind of, like, against each other in a way where, like, the Navy, Army, Marines, correct? Could you expand a little bit more on that? Maybe, like, the brotherhood that goes into it and why it's like that?
Well, you know what? I mean, amongst each other, you know, I wouldn't say we have any conflict against any other branch or any other service. Yeah. You know, we do our own what we're told.
Yeah.
You know, the Marine Corps, you know, it's been around for a while. You know, I can only speak on my behalf. But, you know, I mean, I've never had a problem with a sailor or an Army guy. You know, it's, you know, conflict with other Marines. Other than that, I mean, you know, everybody fights amongst themselves.
Yeah.
People are people, right?
Yeah. But there's nothing that, you know.
Did you guys ever make up and kiss after a dispute?
Hey, that's personal.
Oh shit, that was loud. Yeah. Anyway, cool beans, man. And before you join and all that good stuff, like, were you like educated on what these soldiers do going around?
Yeah, I watched Full Metal Jacket 6 times.
Played a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was way before my time. I mean, that's way after my time.
Oh, really? So you were there during 9/11?
Yeah, I was out. I was going on my 3rd year in.
Wow, how did that feel? Did
well, I was in the East Coast when that happened.
Dang.
Yeah, I was actually training officers, combat instructor. You know, we wake up in the morning, going to the rifle range, and bam, you got a plane slamming into the World Trade Center. I was just thinking, what a dumb motherfucker. I said, come on, you know where you're going? And you see another plane going in? It's like, okay.
You're like, this is too much of a, you know,
coincidence.
Something, yeah.
And my dumb ass, I was like, man, these dumb motherfuckers are drunk. You know, why they keep slamming into buildings? And but then when somebody said terrorists, I was like, oh, okay, it made sense.
And prior to the 9/11 attacks, was there any talk about like possible terrorist threats on American soil, or were you guys ever briefed on certain things, or what was like the information that was supplied to you?
Well, yeah, I can't get too much into that information. I'll just say that we're always ready. We're always ready. From day one, we're ready to go. You know, I mean, you know, we train like it's real.
Yeah, you have to.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, as far as briefings and stuff go, you know, I can't really dwell on that.
But they never were like, yeah, we're going to Iraq.
No. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
But we always on the alert, always ready.
And
train like it's real.
When your superior tells you something, you pretty much can't talk back or anything. You got to do as you're told, right? What happens? Did you ever encounter somebody that was like, maybe at the beginning they were all gun ho about it, and then like maybe towards the middle they started kind of changing, or it started becoming more like kind of like a youth, you know, a teenager, you know, you start rebelling and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get a lot of guys like that. And Marine Corps is pretty good at weeding them out.
Okay.
You know, they'll send them and they'll have them do supply. They'll push them in another platoon.
Okay.
Because we can't have any weak people in there, weak-minded people. And they always say that 10% gets through. You just don't want to be part of that 10%. You always want to give everything you got.
Of course.
Because, your brother's got to trust you.
You're there by choice. It's not like they drafted you. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
but it gets pretty intense. But if you can't handle it, they're gonna see who you are
and building you that discipline, that tough, kind of like a mean dog, somebody that just wants to rip shit up. That's probably why the sexual assaults are so high, don't you think?
Nah, I don't know about that. I never.
Well, in 2012, Pentagon survey found that 26,000 women and men were sexually assaulted. And only 3,374 cases were reported.
Yeah.
I believe under 1,000 were actually convicted of, the crime.
Does it? That must be Air Force. I don't know.
1 out of 3 military women were raped or sexually assaulted. And that's a fucking big number, dude. 1 out of 3.
I can say I was never sexually assaulted unless I wanted to be.
Oh.
No, I was in the infantry and it's all men. You know what I mean? Every time we seen a girl, somebody would bring their sister in, come and visit them. Oh, they got it,
They wanted
everybody
to jump
doing the
on
cat calls and everything. Yeah, mothers, grandmothers, nobody was safe.
Grandmothers,
for real.
Nice. Those cougars.
Yeah, that's why my age range from 18 to 72.
Sicko. What do you think about re-entering Iraq?
I think it's needed. I think we got to go there. I think ISIS, even though they're pumping their chest a lot, I think it's necessary.
You think it's necessary?
Yeah.
That's not cool, man, because these people have already been taking a beating, man. Don't we need a break from that? Can we afford it? Can we afford to keep going to this country and trying to rebuild it,
But if you look at history, like when I was doing a little bit of research, this spot used to be referred to and was known as Mesopotamia. And if you looked at the history of it, there's always been motherfucking war out in this area. Like you just look at it. I've been reading about it. You had was conquered by Cyrus the Great of Persia in 538 BC, and then by Alexander in 331 BC.
It's always been a stomping ground, right?
And then it was pillaged by the Mongols in 1258 during the 16th, 17th, and 18th century. It was the object of Turkish and Persian competition. So there's always been something going on here, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think like it's a switch. You could turn it on and turn it off. You can't stop this. This is something that's been embedded into people.
Absolutely.
It's like just on the news the other day, I believe it was 4 Palestinians went into a synagogue with machetes, a gun, and knives, and started killing people and injuring people, and that's just, it's just the constant hate that's there. What do we need to kind of sway that? Like, what was your firsthand? Do you really see that we're do we treat others different in the Marine Corps or anything? Like, if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, like, was it you're all one team at that point?
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. If you don't trust somebody, they're not going to last.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah,
you gotta move as a unit. Trust each other. You gotta count on that person next to you. If not, there's no way you're gonna survive.
Are there any movies that you could reference that could possibly show anything that like is close to anything that you've witnessed? Or is it too Hollywood?
What's that movie with Pauly Shore? That's a good one.
In the Army now? I'm surprised you didn't join after that movie.
Thank you. Hey, but going back to why this even started. Didn't Obama, when we bombed Syria, say that we're not going to put troops on the ground? This is going to be an air thing, and it's not going to be us invading again.
Oh no, this is something that's been going on since the 80s, maybe even the 70s when Iraq and Iran were going at it.
Yeah,
we knew, we seen all. This is just my opinion, but.
No, I believe it. I believe that it's been planned out for decades and maybe even centuries. Like, this is not something that just happened yesterday.
You said, this is stuff that's been going on for centuries.
So is Obama a puppet?
I don't know.
Does he have someone's hand up his ass?
I don't know.
Does his nose?
Come on, man. Give me an educated guess. Do you think
you think Oprah's up his ass or what? No. I respect the man. He can't.
Why do you respect the man?
He's been putting in a shit sandwich,
Well,
he's handling it okay.
You got to understand what he inherited. A lot of people tend to forget George W. Bush. And this guy got reelected. And the reason, this is the thing about Republicans, is that they will not hesitate to drop bombs and go to war. They will not. They're going to let you know who's in power and who's in control. Democrats, they kind of think, we don't really. That's why they come off as hypocrites and kind of pussies, in a way. Where they do. And to the world, you need to be, if you're going to be the number one power in this, in this world, because what is the role of a president?
It's to be the leader of the free nation.
Commander-in-Chief, right? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think that he's supposed to control the fucking schools and your retirement. No, he's in charge of the military. He's in charge of your security and your safety. Is that right?
He
That's
is. He's supposed to be.
And
but
people think he's like a fucking prophet.
yeah.
Well, here's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I mean, 30 of the 43 presidents actually served the army. You know what I'm saying?
No, more
Obama, what experience does he have in the military?
Well,
What
Clinton didn't serve, but he
this
was
is
a
what I'm
great
saying,
president.
and neither did Bush. Bush had what, like 5 or 6 deferments, or was
Yeah.
that Dick Cheney? Either way,
But I even think even before Bush, I think it goes way before that too.
Yeah.
With Ronald Reagan.
I mean, it blows my mind to see another Bush in the office when we had one, you know, previously.
Yeah.
How do you select this few amount of people into office all the time? I feel like it's rigged. I feel like it's bloodlines. I feel like it's
Well,
family.
well, think about
rich
Bush.
family.
Bush didn't even get elected the first time around, and he still won.
And that's what
How
I'm
does that
hearing.
happen? You know what I mean?
So is it the military that runs the show? 900 bases in 153 countries. Is not fighting for your freedom. It's an empire, like Darth Vader said. So, you know, again, I want to get back into the drug thing, because are we really there for this for this stuff? America needs gasoline, computers, medication. Afghanistan has oil for gasoline, lithium for computers, and poppy plants for the painkillers.
You have any lithium?
No, man. But back to what I'm trying to say is that we got cowards running the show that never served when the Call of Duty, you know, they never answered up to it. We're not talking about a video game. And people like yourself put yourself on the line, you know. Doesn't that seem like a bitch way out for them?
No. No, I mean, it's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
They're sending your kids to war, bro. Are their
Yeah.
kids going to war?
If my kids have the balls,
I'm saying
If they can
their
do it,
kids
they're
don't
gonna do
go.
it.
Their kids don't go. Why are our kids going? The poor,
that's the
the
way
middle
it's been.
class.
That's the way it's been ever since
Yeah,
the
there-
Roman Empire.
There was one movie that I liked, or a documentary, Michael Moore, the Fahrenheit 9/11, where he goes outside of
Yeah.
Congress and he's trying to sign up their kids to go to war. Like, yo, you're saying you're gonna send us to war?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
send your kids. You know, sign up your kids. Like you're
Yeah,
sending
he's
all
a
of us
crazy
to war.
bastard.
And he
I
makes
remember
a
that.
he makes a great point, because it's kind of like it's all talk and no action. And a lot of these people in Congress, you know, they're set, bro. They get a 6-figure. You know, they're gonna get their retirement. They have their health care benefits. Do they really care about the average citizen, about the average Marine, about the average person that comes back? Because right now what we're seeing is all these scandals with the VA. Look at with all the they're falsifying records. The wait time to see a doctor, people are dying. Like, this is unacceptable. I was reading a statistic. It's saying that the U.S. wars in Afghanistan and Iraq alone is costing taxpayers anywhere from $4 trillion to $6 trillion. This is all in all with the health as well as PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. Do you know anybody that affected maybe? Or
Oh yeah, I
Yeah?
know a lot of brothers that are affected. But however, it takes a special person. That's why it's not for everybody. It
Yeah.
takes a special person to join the military. Anything, you know, you're doing logistics, supply, infantry, pilot. It takes a special person to sacrifice. That's
Is it-
why, you know, they should really. You
is
know,
it
be
kind of
more
like
respected.
college? Like I used to go to college and
Nothing like
yo,
college.
no. Let me finish. Let me finish. It's a metaphor. Kind of like college. Like, yo, man, why you here? Oh, because my parents told me. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it kind of like that mentality? Where do you run into anybody like that?
No.
No?
And like I said, those guys get weeded out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they get in the Navy, do something else, supply, logistics, but it takes a special person
Yeah.
To be in the military.
It says less than 28.
Especially a volunteer force like we have.
Yeah, it
It's
has
a
to.
special person to do that.
And that's where you get
And I
into
got the
the.
utmost respect for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. But how do these Marines feel, you know, when they're in the same combat zone getting, let's say, $30K a year, where Blackwater guys getting
30K, is that what they're getting?
well, I don't know, about
Shoot.
27?
I
I
say
don't know.
half of that.
Half of
after
that?
taxes and everything.
Okay.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
and then another thing I want to say, but then this Blackwater guy's getting 100K tax free.
Exactly, yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, how are these guys feeling
It's
about
not
that
fair.
shit?
That's why I said it takes a special person
Yeah.
because they just disregard it and they fight for what they feel is right.
I mean, the way I look at it from the people that I know, I mean, they're serving because it's more of a family thing. It's like, oh, my mom served, my
Yeah.
uncle. Like me, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I had one uncle that was a Marine. Most people I know didn't really serve, and I don't look at them any less or any more.
Yeah,
you know,
me
like,
neither. Me neither.
Like I can't. If you want to do that, do that. And people,
Yeah.
they're gonna listen to this podcast, and be like, oh, Mike and Lou sounding so anti-American, and it's not
Especially
that.
Lewis.
It's not that. I love being an American.
I do
love
too.
it. I just can't agree with the people in charge sometimes. It's just, how do you, this is my thing. Do you think invading Iraq was proper after 9/11 despite not finding any weapons of mass destruction or any direct link?
Yeah, personally, no. I don't think it was right. However,
It was necessary?
No, but you know we're there.
Yeah.
We can't complain about it. We can't bitch about it.
Did we
You
kill
know-
Osama bin Laden?
That's what the news says. Yeah, when the news is always right, right?
But remember, they had to make a movie to convince
Yeah,
us. You know what I'm
exactly
saying?
right. However, you know, my brother's in arms. They're doing a phenomenal job over there.
Yeah.
And like I said, it takes a special person to be in the voluntary.
So now we're getting to why you really joined. You and your brother, man, you trying to compete.
No, my brother's.
Oh,
my brother's in the arms.
Fuck you then.
And my brother though, he was in the Navy. Big shout out, Frankie.
So how do you think veterans get received when they're coming back and trying to get into
Nobody
regular
cares.
life?
Nobody cares. It's sad.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
That is so, man.
But you know who cares? The people out there, the families that support them.
Yeah.
And they got the most utmost respect from me.
Because, Kim Kardashian makes the news every other day, but I don't see any veterans out there, man. I don't see, if I do see some people with reports where, they're missing a limb or, it's usually a negative cover story.
Yeah.
Despite that, today I did see something that was pretty heartwarming and a change. It was actually this guy that was out, in Iraq, and he was getting care packages and mail all the time. All the guys were, except for one guy. And, I mean, that's got to, if you're far away and you don't have anybody riding you or anything, I mean, it's got to, mentally, it's got to fuck with you, right?
No, you don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it?
No, you got so much going on out there. I mean, but
with these
when you do get that care package, or when you do get some support,
makes you feel good.
Oh man,
right?
that bumps you up even 10 times more.
Well, what the guy did, the guy that was receiving it, writes to his mom and says, "Hey, you know what? Could you send one to this guy? He really deserves it. He's a good guy. He's a good Marine." And boom, so they ended up doing it. Now what it is, it's actually turned into this community thing where they're doing it every month. So like that's what I'm saying. It's a positive that comes out of it, uniting the community, because that's what we need. I really feel like there's this. They're not unifying us out there.
Right.
I feel like it's kind of like a bad thing to be proud to be an American or want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Or what's your take on that?
No. When I was out there, I did get a letter from. I mean, a lot of the good stuff, like you said, goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
But I did get a letter from a 5th grader in Ohio.
Really?
And that just motivated the heck out of me. You know what I mean?
And what did it say?
I just said, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. I want to be a Marine just like you when I grow up. I was taken back by that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I remember in elementary school during the first invasion of Iraq with George Bush, was George Bush Sr. And I remember where they're like, oh, we're going to do care packages. And I remember we'd go and send, they'd ask for a list and would send some stuff out. But, war. I've known actually my cousin served as a Marine also, and now he comes out and he's into like the Alex Jones and all this stuff. I mean, it's not that he's into it. I mean, I question it. Like you got to have questions. People get pissed because you ask a question.
Right.
Why are we invading Iraq? Why are we in Afghanistan? Like when they can't give you a clear and precise answer, that's kind of
Sometimes
disturbing.
those people that are able to, they need to go find out for themselves. Enlist, be a journalist. Those journalists.
But then journalists get decapitated.
Exactly.
It's kind of like
but
in
they're
Mexico.
in the fight though too.
Yeah, they are, and they don't get enough recognition. And then when you become a whistleblower, you become someone like Edward Snowden, where you get all these cables and you're showing all this bullshit and you're exposing the elites. I mean, that kind of, it pisses a lot of people off. You know?
For those who don't know, Edward Snowden was a former NSA employee, and he talked about, metadata that allows you to see, basically like phone numbers, like direct information of instead of, having to search for it. It's right there for you. And that shit is like invading your privacy all the way, and that's why he split. He said, fuck this, I'm out of here, I'm going to Russia.
The news just reported that there's planes flying over us in America, intercepting your cell phone information, decoding it, and pretty much the ones that aren't good, they're not doing anything with it, supposedly. They're storing that shit. But they're trying to get criminals. And this is crazy because this is on American soil. We have drones. We now have militarized police. I don't care what anybody says. They received like $34 billion from the Department of Defense to get like MRPs, better machine guns, body armor, tanks, and this is on American soil. Great example, Ferguson. How do you feel about that? Do you think that this was all planned to go test all this technology and then to bring it back to the homeland?
Yeah, no. I don't think we need any of that. I think we overspend.
People just listen too much rap music.
Yeah, I think we overspend. I think our police force, they do a great job out there. They're heavily scrutinized, just like the military is. However, but they don't need anti-assault missiles and stuff like that, or anti-assault tanks, and that's a little too much. You know what I mean? Let the people know you're working for them.
Yeah, right. But Ferguson is about to pop off, and you
you
got another Rodney King situation. Well, I don't know, but the way they're marching, the way they're acting, their behavior is telling me get ready for some shit, and they're making threats. This is another cry out for help from the black community of like we're fucking suffering, we're ignorant,
I was reading on RT. I like RT a lot, it's the Russian news or whatever, but they were saying this guy got arrested or fired from his job for posting a picture of Department of Homeland Security vehicles in the Ferguson area. Like that's how crazy it's getting. Where you're posting something up on social media on your own personal page, and you're sacrificing your job over it, over your opinion or just a picture. Like that's pretty
affecting your home life. Yeah,
crazy. So do you think
things are turning for the worse? I mean, you can feel everybody feels it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the military to know that or not. I mean,
and I have the utmost respect for somebody that has the balls to be that special person to go and fucking enlist, be away from their family, their wife, whoever it may be. I mean, I watch these movies. I mean, I know they're movies, but there's some where you're just like, damn, like this is what Jarhead, I think, is one that would just popped out.
Have you seen Brothers?
Brothers?
No. I've seen Jarhead though. Jarhead's good.
Yeah, Jarhead's good.
I never seen Jarhead. What's Jarhead about?
This is what Jake Gyllenhaal.
What is it about though? Like, cause Brothers is a sick. He goes to Afghanistan and
it's about the first.
Can I tell the story?
No, I don't know. You asked me a question.
Go ahead, bro. All right, so yeah. Anyway, he comes back and he's fucked up in the head from the explosions, and he was captured by the terrorists, and he was tortured. Then he comes back and he thinks his brother's
and
cheating.
he had to kill his own homie too.
Yeah, that's
Remember
right.
that?
That's
and they
right.
film it. They're like, yeah, you got to kill him, or we're gonna kill both of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And this dude was like the leader of his platoon, so like he did not want to tell anybody about it, and he's holding it in, and his wife's like, what's wrong? And like before in the story, before he goes over there, he's like cool with his kids, he's like friendly, he's like this really down to earth dude. Then he gets out and he's all fucked up,
There's a scene where he's outside with a gun and the cops show up.
That's at the end. Yeah, it's a great movie. If you want to check it out, it's fucking awesome. But go ahead and tell me about that movie, man.
Yeah.
Well, I never seen Brothers, but you gotta realize it's just a movie. It's fictional.
Hey, but it could be based upon a true story.
It could be, but we never know.
Yeah, the best one that was based upon a true story is that Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg.
That
one
movie.
I actually saw the
it.
back behind the scenes. They actually used the real guy that survived.
Yeah.
They have input. They
Marcus Lattimore, right?
Exactly. Yeah, awesome. And that movie was just like, wow, it was pretty crazy, man. I mean, I know it's a movie, it's an interpretation, but at least there's a primary source of somebody that was there and has their input. Back on Jarhead, what I want to touch though, there's this really fucked up scene where all the guys are chilling watching TV. And this guy goes to the VCR and it's on the tape on the VCR, puts it in, starts playing it, and it's one of the guys that's serving there, and it's his wife getting fucked by some other guy. So his wife's cheating on him, and they like show him, and this guy's out in a war zone. Like that is fucking. That's got to be a mindfuck.
Like I've never seen nothing that extreme, but however, there's a lot of letters like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've never seen anybody's wife getting fucked. I mean,
yeah.
You know,
but what kind of letters?
Just letters, people breaking up with you. I can't handle this no more.
And you're serving.
You're serving with them. You know what I mean? And there might.
I'm saying though, can you imagine putting yourself on the line?
Exactly.
You're making a sacrifice, being that special person you were talking about, and you get the letter saying that your support system is no longer your support.
That is crazy.
Exactly.
That's got to be.
That's why it's important to you rely on your brothers there.
Is that why the suicide rate is going up with a lot of veterans?
I don't know. I can't speak on that.
Statistics lately are showing that like suicide is just crazy with a lot of these veterans, and I try to understand it. Like I'm trying to understand it. I've never been in a war zone, so I don't know what it's like. I've never been to Afghanistan. I've never been to Iraq. From what I do read, it's hot as fuck out there. Number one. Number two, the resources are very limited. It's not like the United States. Number three, the enemy is no longer how it was back in the day where you're wearing red, he's wearing blue. These people they dress like civilians. They pretty much have a corrupt government. They run it. They've been running it. The Taliban, Al Qaeda, which split off to ISIS, and now ISIS is now affiliated with Al Qaeda. You have the Sunnis, the Shiites. You have the Kurds. You have just a clusterfuck of all this stuff going on that a lot of people just don't understand. And they say like, "Oh, end the war!" Like it's a blanket statement. It's like it's not that fucking easy.
Well, I like what Ron Paul said. He said we marched in and we could march out. Can we afford this? Our country is in debt, $16 trillion in debt. We spend a lot on our military, and we're, like I said, I read that post. We have how many bases? Like fucking 900 or some shit like that. Like it's gonna be in the long run, it's gonna be a huge toll on us and our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids' kids. It's crazy. Like we have to budget this shit, and who's responsible for budgeting at the Federal Reserve? Like these fuckers who keep printing out money that we can't really. It's not backed by gold, so we will crash. There's no fucking stopping that, Yeah. But what do you think about Bradley Manning? Let's say you were out there doing your thing as a Marine. You saw some information. You decided to let the public know about it. Suddenly you're in prison now for 35 years because you told the truth about military abuse of innocent people.
No, I never seen anything.
You never saw the footage of the people in the helicopter shooting innocent civilians in the Middle East? Damn, bro, where the fuck you been?
Yeah, that's a
Are
pretty.
you sure you didn't see that in the movie?
No, that one.
Forrest Gump?
No,
That one is real life.
It's live footage.
and
Yeah.
it's actually they're actually the problem is like the whole attitude of the soldiers. They're just like, fuck, let me shoot him, can I fucking shoot? Oh, look at these little kids, fuck them, and they're just like, bam, blast. It's crazy, just the regard for life is just like you're subhuman. And I'm not, obviously this is an isolated incident, just like that guy in Afghanistan that was
Exactly.
cutting off the fingers and pissing on the people. Like these are isolated incidents, and again. You're in fucking war. These guys might have killed your buddy.
Right.
You have these IEDs on the side of the road blowing your shit up.
Yeah.
Again, I could understand you're invading another country, but this is their job. This is what they're signing up to do. You can't be mad at the
Yeah.
soldier. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of see it. And on both sides,
You shouldn't be mad at them as a whole, as an isolated incident, like you said.
yeah, it's isolated incident.
Oh, I'm not
Just
trying to point and say every Marine's bad, every Army dude's bad. I'm
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
no, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to say that the abuse is there.
It does happen.
And when it's exposed, and this dude Bradley Manning is called a traitor, treason. It's like whoa. This dude was just telling us.
Oh, is that the dude we got five? We traded five.
No.
Five turrets for him.
Oh, that's another good point I want to bring up.
What's his name?
Man,
Bergdahl.
Bergdahl, and that was
Yeah.
in Guantanamo Bay. And the funniest thing about that is that I remember we do not negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly. That's been since day one, and
And
I do blame Obama for that.
That was horrible. It's like because it seems like ever since those dudes got released, like all this ISIS shit just
Yeah.
really started blowing up, and nobody ever put those two together. I always thought I was like, man, these guys are gonna go back there.
Yeah.
They're just gonna come on. But do we, as a nation, really want stability in the Middle East?
We don't know what this nation. I mean, it's so diverse. I mean, nobody's on the same page back home. I think that's where the
Yeah.
problem starts.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Isolated incidents happen. Nobody knows where military go to. However, stuff like shooting kids and stuff like that shouldn't happen. However, I mean, we
It
don't know
happens
what's
here in
going on there.
America.
Collateral
Maybe-
damage.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay or anything like that, but maybe kids are shooting at them, and
Yeah.
you know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, I don't know.
And they're trained.
I
a
can't
certain-
put myself in that situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's different
I
everywhere
can't
you
judge
go.
these people because
And
they're going through a certain thing.
And this is the problem with the media is that they give their opinions and they make it truth.
Well, there's so
Right.
many
You know what
different
I'm saying?
Well, they're
interpretations.
trying to sell a story.
There's so many different interpretations. I want to pull up this
Exactly.
picture. There's 4 different ways of looking at things. You see this dude right now on a donkey, and it says 2 people on a donkey, donkey's back. Poor animal. There's 2 dudes talking shit about some guy and his girlfriend riding a donkey. And then on the next scene, you see it says, how cruel. He's letting his wife walk, and then he's riding the donkey on his own, and his lady's walking. And in the third picture, it says, how stupid. He is letting his wife take the ride alone, and she's riding the donkey, and he's walking. And then the fourth one, it says, fools. Don't they even know how to utilize a donkey? And they're both walking the donkey.
They're going to criticize
There's
regardless.
There's so many different ways to look at
Yeah, it's
something.
all perception.
Exactly.
All perception.
So my perspective is just like, yo, I know we need to defend our country. I know we need to stop terrorism if it is involved in our country. But to go to other countries and say, yo, you guys have to act a certain way, bro, like that's none of our business right now. We got to step up as a country. We're at the highest economic fallout that we've ever seen, bro. Unemployment is ridiculous. Everyone's fucking seeing what's going on. They're losing their houses. They're losing their businesses. What are you supposed to do?
Well, it's just like everybody wants to point a finger at somebody to make them feel better. It's not always the case. Sometimes you just gotta, suck it up and
Just got to roll with the punches.
just roll with it. Roll with it. Do better for your family. Everybody
Right.
Just focus on yourself and take accountability and responsibility.
What do you think about that, Hector? Are we all donkeys?
Sure.
No, but what is your perspective on war? Is it necessary? Because obviously we got to defend our country, right? I mean,
Yeah, we do.
Why don't we start with our borders?
And we should.
Right.
I mean, we're sending troops over there, but we need to secure our borders first.
Right, because anyone can come through Mexico with
Exactly,
explosives,
exactly.
with uranium to destroy this country. Do we ever worry about that? That's why it makes me. I believe that there's not really that big of a red alert. Fucking, we're gonna be getting killed any second now. It's like they're trying to hype us up, scare the shit out of us, make us feel like we cannot defend ourselves. So rely on the military to go and protect us and beat the shit out of everybody. All that does is stir up more hatred, more anger. They say the number one cause of terrorism is because people want to take revenge of what you did to their families. You bombing innocent old men and women, young kids sleeping at night in Baghdad, is blowing the shit out of them. What the fuck do you expect them to do? They have nothing now.
You want to hear something crazy that I just read a fact? The Iraq has an army. I mean, they might not be fully trained and the best, but they do have an army of it's estimated about over 200,000. They were in I forget which city it was, going against ISIS. It was 800 ISIS fighters going against 30,000 Iraqi in the army, and they said fuck that, and they turned around and retreated. And
The
and
Iraqis did?
Yeah, and there were 30,000 against 800. You know what I'm saying? And the reason is number one, they don't agree with it. They don't want to die. Number two, they don't even care for the government there. You know, so they don't have reasons to. It's kind of like you're here because you have to be compared to I want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got the heart for this shit.
But can you imagine? I mean, if there's 30,000 of us and 800 of them, and we got to go to war for our country, and we're all four of us, I'm like, yo, dog, we got this. Like, yo, dog, I'm like, we got this.
That reminds me of that Spartan movie, 300. Remember that shit?
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
like a few of them, and they fucking were able to haul off the.
But it just goes to show you again, like, what is in the best interest of these people? We don't even know. They don't even have a McDonald's on every corner. They don't have a Walmart.
Good for them.
They don't. But this is the thing, is that we don't understand the culture. We don't. It's like Mexico, for instance. I'll use it as an example.
Break it down.
People go down to TJ. They think that's Mexico. I'm like, nah, bro. That is Americanized. That's a border. It's not the same compared to somewhere deep in the inner regions of Mexico, where it's gonna be a little pueblo where they don't have anything. You know what I mean?
Right,
And it's just so different. And I think a lot of people like giving their opinions and comments without fact checking anything. They just, oh well, the news said it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the coverage of Iraq and Afghanistan?
Is it one sided?
I don't really know. I mean, you know.
What do you watch, man? Football? What the fuck? No,
Like I
seriously.
said, I mean, maybe you guys watch too much TV. Maybe I watch too less TV. I don't know. I just don't really
I don't watch TV at
follow
all.
up with it. You know, I just
I'm into the internet. I'm into reading, like, RT. They have some good shit, and
yeah.
just looking
because
around.
I know everything's one sided. That's all.
In our media, it
Everything's
seems
one-sided.
like, Fox News is always trying to bastardize
Right.
Obama.
Axis of evil.
Fox News, CNN is horrible too.
Right.
I mean, they do the same.
It's just funny, like, you'll watch the speeches from back in the day when not funny because we got attacked, but what's funny is just these speeches where they keep saying terrorists. In the same speech, they're saying terrorists like 100 times. They're saying war. They're saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
just because something I learned in school, which is very basic and very simple, is the more you hear something, you're probably going to learn it.
The
you're
number
probably
one
gonna think it.
priority for terrorists is to instill fear.
Yes.
Instill fear.
Yeah.
No matter how many troops they got, how many troops they don't got, they want to instill fear and intimidate.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about the
if you let
Ebola
that happen,
thing?
Ebola, it
They're
seems like
sending
it's
troops.
subsided.
They're sending troops to Africa.
They're sending
American
troops. Maybe they're sending troops to catch it and bring it back here.
Who knows,
Who
right?
knows?
Who
You know,
knows?
that's all I can.
Or maybe they're going to wipe them out. Who
Yeah.
knows, right? I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories, and
What is your theory?
my theory is they're sending troops over there to catch it so they can bring it back and let everybody get a little bit of Ebola. If you're rich, you could go ahead and
It's like
fight
it's,
it.
pay
it's
for the vaccine.
I keep saying this, like, it's strange. Like, every 10 years we'll have some sort of epidemic. Like, remember swine flu?
Right.
Swine flu, watch out, it's everywhere. You can become that. It's like, yo, like, that's bullshit. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody around me, nobody in my neighborhood, nobody in my city, nobody in my state. Like, you're gonna tell me that this shit's gonna get me? Now it's Ebola. Dude, what's next, man?
It's all,
Remember anthrax?
It's all about scaring the people.
Right.
How do you
So-
feel
Scare
about
the
the
people.
Patriot Act?
Go a little bit into that. I'm not too sure.
The Patriot Act, pretty much.
Hector, what about Hector? What do you feel?
Have you
I haven't heard of it.
haven't heard of it? Wow. See, this is the thing. Like, the Patriot Act scares the shit out of me. That's what scares me. Is
You guys don't know about the Patriot Act?
after 9/11.
You mean
Go
the
ahead.
New England Patriots? They suck.
After 9/11, the Patriot
Yeah,
Act
they're great.
was pretty much rushed through Congress. It's like this thick, and they had like a couple hours, just like they do everything, and they just approved it out of fear, like you said. But pretty much the Patriot Act, man. You're a United States citizen. Guess what, man? You could get arrested and detained without access to a lawyer, no access to a speedy trial. You pretty much get treated like a terrorist.
Get
They could
sent to
withhold you.
Guantanamo Bay.
They could send you there. They could go check your phones, go into your house without warrants. It's pretty much saying fuck the Constitution. I don't care if you're an American. You have no rights.
And this is legal, bro.
yeah, this
Well,
has been.
kinda
It
like
was extended by Obama.
Kind of
Yeah.
like Sharia law. It seems like they're implementing everything for Muslims. You can't be a
How so?
Christian.
How so?
Just you can't say happy. You have to say happy holidays. You can't say Merry Christmas no more.
Exactly.
Because that's Christ in it.
Yeah.
And we're moving
People
away.
get offended.
In Australia, they said, I don't care if you're a Muslim or not. We got Christian beliefs here. You either get with it or fuck off.
You assimilate.
But here, it's like, we got to, you know,
His
please the
feelings
Muslims.
are gonna get hurt.
Yeah, we gotta please the Muslims. Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's crazy
I
because
totally disagree with
because in Detroit, you know, they're building a satanic church. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and there's this outcry and out. It's like, look, this is the land of the free. If these people want to believe in Satan and whatever,
Do it.
so do it. You know, as long as you're not sacrificing people and this and that. Hey, you want to be a Jehovah Witness? Go for it. Hey, you don't
Right.
want to believe in anything? Go for it. Just don't fuck with my freedoms. Don't come over here tell me how to live my life and try to impose on me. That's what's happening since 9/11 is, how about NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act? You guys aware of that? Obama signed it January 1st, 2012. Is that correct?
Yes.
You guys aware of that?
Midnight.
That's some scary shit too. Because as soon as they did that, they were showing things on YouTube where there's just trains of just all these tanks and all these MRPs and all this
Right,
stuff. It's
right.
just, it's pretty crazy stuff to
Yeah.
think about. And I don't think the average Joe out there, the average citizen, really knows about it. I can't really blame them because a lot of this information I had to dig up on my own. It's not on TV, bro. I didn't turn on Fox News or CNN and learn about this, you
Right.
know? And I think, how do you feel about education with soldiers when they come back? You know, I know they promise you a paid education, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, I mean that's for everybody to take up on their own. And
Did you ever
it's
take
available
advantage
for
of
them.
it?
Oh yeah, I sure
Yeah,
did.
what are the benefits of
You
being
know,
a
I
Marine?
got about 60 units. A lot of benefits. You get leadership trades.
Get chicks?
You get sometimes if you know your approach. I mean, it's just like a regular person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, pussy's not thrown at you like they say it is. Only in Australia it was. You know.
Hello,
But-
mate.
Yeah, Australia was thrown at you. However, like we'll pull into the dock, and there'll be girls on speedboats with their titties out, big signs. Come over here, Marine. My husband's in jail. Come fuck me. kind of
Wow.
shit. Yeah, for real.
That's dirty.
Yeah, but some good stuff. But
Did you handle that or?
no, yeah. 2 condoms, but
Double strap.
yeah, but you know, I mean, you gotta remember, people in the military are Americans,
Yeah.
you know, and they abide by everything.
And they're
everything else
humans.
goes through.
I
They're
thought anybody
humans,
could be
you
a
know what I
Marine
mean?
as long as you're in this country.
Negative.
They want more people that are undocumented, you know, and just get them in there.
No, that's just a
Front line.
generalization.
No, that's wrong completely.
Yeah, not completely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a generalization. You know, I mean, you get a couple, you know, but
Again,
if they're willing to fight
isolated
for our country,
incidents. Let them.
you know, let them.
Shit, why
Why
not?
not?
Most Americans don't want the jobs that are offered, and most Americans don't want to go to war.
Yeah,
Plain and simple. Straight up. I don't know why people deny this shit. It's fucking true. Do I want to go to war? Fuck no. I really don't. If I really had to, and shit was blowing up here and where I couldn't go down my street without a fucking car bomb, yeah, you know what? My mind's going to change a little bit. But as of right now, I think that there's enough communication in the world to where we could honestly just fucking get along. I don't know.
We got 17 more minutes in the show. What's up?
You got to take a leak?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold off 17 minutes, man. Hold your bladder. I just want to counter what you were saying because I actually knew a dude who worked with me, and he still works with me, but he was telling me that he would go back in a heartbeat, and I'm like, whoa, you want to go back to war?
I've known people that have gone 3-4 tours, and
he's
they
like,
love it.
he's like, well, dude, the
They're
money,
that
is, the
certain
money
type
is
of
great.
person.
That's
The
special
money, he's like, the
person.
money is great. You know, why would I want to be over here when I go over there and help the troops? And I'm like, damn.
Look, we pay millions of dollars for people that play football with helmets. You got a guy wearing a helmet because he's wants to protect his head from getting blown off.
Exactly.
He's getting paid what, $1.25? No,
Nah,
jeez.
they get paid good, dude.
No, people in the military?
Yeah.
No, they
Marines.
don't. You're misinformed.
Yeah, they don't. They get
No,
they
they
get
need a lot
paid.
more money than
It's
that.
pretty much equivalent to like.
That's
That's
less
what I'm
minimum
saying about the
wage.
special person because they don't care. You know,
But how come dudes I work with, they have extra money, income coming in, and they could actually afford a good apartment?
because
when-
they have disability.
Oh, is that what it is?
They're losing their hearing,
And
they're
that-
getting limbs blown off.
And that's why I respect these dudes.
they're
It
making
might,
the ultimate sacrifice.
it might sound like I'm anti-war, which I'm not. I just think it's dangerous and it's costing us a lot of money in this country. And I believe in building my country first. And like I was telling Hector, we need to secure our border lines.
And what
because
country's that?
That's where the real threat's going to come in. USA, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah,
But
there you
I'm
go,
one
there
of the
you go. Now you're
indigenous
talking.
people. I'm an indigenous of this land. But anyway,
Now you're talking.
back to what I was trying to say though about my friend he was serving and all that. I'm trying to tell the dude like, yo, is this even worth it though? Like people are coming back they can't sleep at night because they still hear grenades, their ears are ringing and shit
They
like
just gotta
that.
smoke weed. That's it.
One of my friends, yeah, she was supposed to come in. She was a former Marine, and she can't sleep at night. She has to take medication. She has kidney stones going on in her stomach, and they won't see her. Like, there's a lot of problems going on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what about our vets on the corner sleeping, dude, on the streets with signs?
Exactly.
No one gives a fuck about them, bro.
No, we need to fight for them. We need to honor them.
These
and-
dudes put their lives on the line, but for what purpose? You know,
Yeah.
was it worth it? Because look at the dude now.
Right,
He's
right.
fucked up out of his skull, dude. What are we
Yeah.
supposed to do?
See, that's uncalled for, and that's been going on since
The beginning of
way
time.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's just an underappreciation that I don't think we're ever resolved, but it needs to be.
right.
Yeah.
You know, so I think everybody needs to be accountable for themselves, thank that veteran. Even the thank you.
Yeah.
That might boost morale a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
For a second, then they fucking go back to the corner with their sign. But
Exactly.
my uncle got shot in the back. He served in the Vietnam War, and he got shot in the back. And some of the Vietnamese people, they pulled him into the shack, and they were able to protect him, and he was able to go out and get the bullet taken out. But he came back, and he was addicted to heroin.
Yeah, a lot of people from Vietnam came back addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Good thing you bring up Vietnam. I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
The thing is that was a draft. That's the whole different implications.
Great point.
Because a draft was implemented, so you had a bunch of kids straight out of high school with no fucking knowledge. I mean, you grow up in America; it's so different than a third world country, and they're just going out here. They have a week of training with a rifle, or 2 weeks, a month. They're rushing all this stuff to people that don't want to be there in the first place. They're out here in a jungle in places they don't. The humidity, everything's different. The mosquitoes, the lifestyle, the food, the people, and I mean, they're going again. It's kind of like they refer to Iraq as the Vietnam of the millennium and stuff. And Vietnam, we never won. Do you think we won the war in Iraq?
It's
Too hard to say.
It's ongoing. In my personal opinion, it's ongoing still.
It's never gonna end.
It's not, and that's what governments do. They fight wars. They make money.
It's big business. It's big business.
Yeah, it's never for what they say it is. However, if you sign up for something like that, you know where you're getting into. God bless them.
Yeah. One thing I just do want to say, I want to see if you're knowledgeable of this. Did you know that Dick Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton?
Yes.
Okay. How does that? Do you think that has a huge
conflict
effect?
of interest?
Conflict of interest, a little bit.
Like I said, everything's from my own personal point of view. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was he running the country when Bush was president? Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Of course he was. Yeah.
Was he hiding in the Pentagon when everything was going down?
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe yes.
Because you know what? To this day, I just read about George W. Bush says, you know what? I will not criticize Obama. I will not criticize any president. Because you guys, he's pretty much saying you guys don't know what it's like. We could sit here and criticize and say all these certain things and opinions, but we honestly don't have the information they have. We don't know.
Exactly,
Nuclear war could pop off every fucking hour, every day, and we just don't know. And they're doing so much other stuff behind the scenes that they can't tell us because it has to be classified information. I do understand that. I don't want people to think I'm just all this one side, left side.
Yeah,
I do understand.
Adolf
all this
Hitler
stuff.
passed away, 65 years ago, something like that? Like, dude,
Supposedly.
that wasn't that long ago, man. That was like shorthanded.
Dude, there were reports that motherfucker escaped and was in Argentina and South America, just like a lot of other Nazis. And honestly, who knows? Who knows,
With
man?
Tupac and Elvis. All of them, right?
Elvis. Yeah, and what scares the shit out of me is people go, oh, that was a long time ago. We don't remember that. And then it's like, yo, North Korea is doing the same shit right now, bro. Like, that shit's happening right now. China, bro, it's straight dictatorship, bro. People like, what?
Well, how do you know for sure, though? That's what our government tells us.
Wait.
Exactly.
What do you
That's
mean?
what the media tells us.
What are you talking about, bro?
That's what the media tells us.
North Korea has threatened us with missiles, and you're saying that?
Oh, North Korea. I thought you said China.
Oh, well, China, yeah. Well, they
China's been helping us a little bit,
Yeah,
with
but
money.
we're
helping us with
they're always
Walmart.
at each other's throats. I mean,
Fuck them, too.
it comes down to one thing: money.
Hector, what do you think?
What? Hey, one.
Stop texting and pay attention, motherfucker.
Hey, one story I do want to say too is, did you guys hear about that kid that was in Afghanistan? I forget his name. I think his last name was Ramirez. Afghanistan war, does his tours, comes back to L.A., has a welcome home party, gets shot.
Oh, yeah, I heard about
That
that.
is
That's
just
unfortunate.
it's just so crazy to go. It just goes to show what I've been trying to prove is that there's war on the streets here. It's a
Yeah.
concrete jungle.
Yeah.
There's war out here. It's just a little bit different
It's
because
a lot different, but it's still the
there's
same.
still war.
Effects.
There could be four of us right here just walking out trying to have a good time, and another group of guys, a little alcohol, and boom, somebody's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, did you see that
Somebody's shot.
video with ISIS driving around as blasting cats?
With
dude?
the AK-47?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just...
Let me pull that up before we go to break, because that shit was sick, man.
That actually really disgusts me and disturbed me. I hate watching stuff like this. I did watch the first beheading that went on, and I was just like, man, this is the people we're dealing with. Look at these cartels south of the border. I bring this up all the time. It's like these guys are hyper violent, and they were trained by Navy SEALs from America. It's just it's so crazy. It's just so interconnected and
It's mind blowing.
It really
I
is.
can see the excitement on asking all these questions and stuff, but I mean, God bless the people out there. God bless the
For
people
sure.
that want to make things right.
Of course, man.
I'll never, whether they be from Iraq, United States, of course, Syria. I just seen a video of these two little kids. This little kid, he faked his death because he was getting shot at, and he got up and went and he
What you
saved
were
his
about
little
to
sister.
see
Yeah.
is a
Did
real.
you see that one?
I did see that. I did see that. And they actually, I guess what it was it was actually planned. but they were just showing like what people really
Right,
deal with,
right.
and
The
seeing that is
areas
just like
of Iraq.
this little kid. Little kids out here are singing Frozen, and that guy right there got to play dead to save somebody from getting shot.
Yeah, but it's
That's
not all
crazy.
safe back home.
Peep this out
There's
real
a lot
quick.
of stuff going on.
Oh, for sure.
This is like Grand Theft Auto in the real, bro. This is like real shit. You're just driving, chilling with your family, and ba 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 ba, gone. I mean, that shit is crazy. Then they stop and they come back and then they just take the money out or whatever the fuck they're trying to do. What is the purpose of this, man? You know,
Yeah,
Fear.
I don't know.
Fear, bro.
intimidation.
It's still
Fear.
fair. It's still fair in the people. Especially, you notice a lot of stuff goes up when it's time to vote.
Right? Did you vote this year?
Oh yeah,
You did vote.
yep.
Who'd you
I
vote
voted.
for? Obama?
No, I voted Jerry Brown, and then the rest Republicans.
Are you a Republican?
No, I'm neither. I voted for a Democrat governor, and the rest Senate, Congress, all Republican.
Because they'll go to war.
Keep each other in check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep each other in check. They
Keep
work
each
for
other-
this.
look,
They work for each other.
look at what we're dealing with, bro. Like, imagine if that shit was happening on the 5 fucking freeway right now.
It has.
It does.
It has happened.
It
Well,
does. People
no,
shoot
but-
each other in 105.
No, but I'm just saying the
57.
No, on the 91 there was a couple of shootings, but I'm just saying on this extent where it's just like intimidation to a whole
Yeah.
new level where
Yeah.
people just don't get it.
They're
man.
not mad because you cut them off. They're mad because you're just existing, and they're like, "Da, da, 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 da." Fuck you.
That is insane, man. That is just too much to look at, man. That's
Very
just
graphic
nuts.
shit, man. That's just the way it goes down. In
And
the
you know
world,
what the
man.
craziest thing is? That kids are playing video games that mimic that shit, and the graphics are almost on that level where it looks so realistic. You know, Call of Duty making $1 billion in one day. I've brought this up multiple times, man.
Billion?
Like,
It sells. It sells.
All of our money.
well, that's why I feel like I have a say, because people are like, oh, well, you don't vote, you don't have a say. Fuck that. I pay taxes every fucking day, whether I buy soda, whether I'm paying my buying a water, buying a
You vote with
shirt,
your
a hat.
dollar.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I do have a say because that is our money.
Well,
That
that's,
is, you know?
that's the beautiful thing about this country. It's you have every right to say what you want.
Yeah,
to say, you know what I
exactly.
mean? That's
We're
what
entitled
all
to it.
about.
And they're trying to stop that, I believe.
Yeah. But we got people fighting for
Oh.
us to keep it going.
And
Always keep it going.
exactly one thing, you know, a discussion me and Lou had, I want to say maybe a year ago or, you know, some while back was about like, hey, Mike, you know, like we're going to do this podcast, we're going to do this show, you know, like, are you scared about, you know, your safety or what you say and stuff? And, you know, I remember telling Lou, I was like, you know what? I knew the job was dangerous when we took it, man. Like, we already know what we're getting into. We know that we might miss out on certain opportunities because people are going to be like, hey, I watched your podcast and I disagree with what you said.
Yeah.
Or,
Boom.
hey, you know this, or hey, you know that. And it's like, I already knew that, but I'm an entrepreneur. I really believe in myself, first off. So I'm going to believe in the freedom of speech. I'm not going to be scared of any corporation, any
Right.
company,
It
anything
takes balls
like
to
that.
do what we're doing, man.
It really does, and people might not see
So
it
why
as
you
that,
here?
but this is revolutionary, man. This is honestly, we
Someone comes up to me, "Hey, Lou, I love your podcast, man."
didn't just for being affiliated.
Yeah. And that's the way it's going down, man. So thank you guys for coming in on the show.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
I appreciate the input, man.
Yeah.
Coming, I love having.
I
like,
just
you
know that I'm nobody
No,
special
but-
or anything like that. You know,
But you are, man,
Like I said,
because
it
you're
just-
you're taking that initiative that so many people aren't even looking at. Most people are thinking about, where am I going to go eat fast food today, or where am I? They're not even thinking about the safety. They're not even thinking about everybody else. They're not even thinking
Yeah.
about leaving the comfort of their
until it
home.
affects them,
Exactly, until it's close to home, and
Yeah.
that is unfortunate.
it's too late, and that's when it's too late.
That's when it becomes more hatred and anger than something
Yeah.
positive, I believe. And you start going with an agenda to really hurt somebody, to
Right.
inflict something because it's all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that caller we had earlier. I mean, he just lets me know that I'm not doing enough on my part. I still got to do more.
We all do.
You know what I mean?
I wake up every day, you know, I'm sitting there watching TV, watching the news. I'm like, I
Yeah.
should be doing more. I should be doing more.
Same here, man. But how much can we do with our jobs that run us, you know?
See that it's that. I mean,
It
no
is.
question, just do it. Got to do it.
You do. You got to do it,
Get
man.
your
Got to make
ass
it
up,
happen, man.
make it happen.
More actions, less talk.
Right.
Open your mind, bitch.
Open it up. All right, you guys got any last words? Hector, you want to say something?
No,
Don't-
it was nice
don't do
listening to you
drugs.
guys. Don't do drugs. Stay in school.
Don't support the system.
It was nice listening to you guys go back and forth with good topics.
Yeah,
Marijuana is not a drug.
I wanted to debate him about the Constitution because,
That's a whole nother show, man.
Yeah, I know I contradicted myself a little bit, but you know,
But that's what humans are. We're hypocrites and we contradict each other. You know, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Because
God bless our founding fathers. You know what I mean?
for sure,
We
man.
want to do what's right by them, but you know,
But they're a racist motherfucker.
But
No.
the point I bring up though too is that our founding fathers nowadays would be considered terrorists. That I've seen a lot of
Some
stuff
parts of
saying
it,
that
some
because
stuff.
of their radical ideas and stuff, you know. But it's just crazy how they're trying to make history like, oh well, they would have been considered terrorists. Like, wait, I thought terrorists were enemies.
or will our government be considered terrorists to them?
Correct, man. You know, and that's
Never
why the
know.
Constitution was made, bro, to try to help us in checks and balances.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in. And we out like that. Open Your Mind podcast. Peace.
Peace. To the next episode. Big ups to Lieutenant. Big ups to Ed, Hector,
Mr. Egg.
myself. I'm Mike. Peace. Broadcast completed.
Wow. Yeah, you guys are legit, man. I had no idea.
Next time, come prepared, motherfucker.
No,